Worst episode ever. That's what I got to say about what we just watched over the last hour. I'm just kidding. This was one of the best episodes I think I've ever seen on television. I think a lot of you agree with me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Obnoxious and Anonymous. This is the Twin Peaks initial reaction video for part 16. No knock, no doorbell. Give me a second here to fix the speakers. Before I bring in my co-host and blow everybody's speakers up. Hey, Hal, how's it going?
Hey, Cameron. Good to see you tonight. Isn't it just too dreamy?
Yes, it definitely is. It definitely is. It's so funny because after every episode of Twin Peaks, there's somebody on my Facebook. There's a lot of people on my Facebook that will say, "This was the greatest episode of Twin Peaks I've ever seen in my life," and it's just like I get it, right? Because people are so into it, and the hyperbole's there, and everyone's just I'm having a great time. This is one of the great episodes of Twin Peaks, if not of television.
I told you right before we came on, it's like last week I was shedding tears. This week I was like cheering, clapping. Beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Look, you're not going to hear a lot of complaints tonight. All right. This is one of those podcasts tonight, how we might as well just come on and say it was brilliant. It was masterful. Good night, everybody.
Right.
Seriously.
But that would be no fun.
No, definitely not. There's so much to talk about.
Yes, there is.
But before we get to the episode, we always have to talk about some initial things. Yes. And one is, I'm sure you heard that this episode dropped last night in the UK.
I did. And I almost saw spoilers. Somebody was posting something about it, and I'm like, oh, look away.
I got a message today from people in the UK saying that there were people going on the Twin Peaks forums, Twin Peaks Facebook pages,
yes,
YouTube, and coming up with predictions for tonight's episode when they had already seen it and they were spoiling it for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I almost saw.
Well, luckily I didn't see any of it.
Me neither. Like I said, I saw somebody's episode 16 and I knew it had leaked, and I'm just like, oh, avert eyes quickly.
Exactly. It's a shame that this is happening a lot. Mm-hmm. These episodes are dropping. So my prediction is this. I think there's a 90% chance somewhere in the world the last two episodes are going to drop early for.
Somebody's going to want that scoop.
No, I just think that I think that some country is going to drop it, and it's certainly not going to be the United States, because we never get that lucky.
I don't want it to drop early. I want to watch it at 8:00 next week.
But I will say, after tonight's episode, I would have been totally fine if they played the next two right after, and we had like that first night where we got 4 that first night.
Yeah,
I would have been okay with the rest of it tonight.
But then it would be over. We wouldn't have all week to talk about this one.
I know, but
I like the anticipation, Cameron.
Okay, you and Dr. Frankenfurter.
Exactly, anticipation.
Yeah, but I have a feeling it's going to drop early somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Either that, or David Lynch is so ticked off that this has been happening that no one will be able to play it until David Lynch turns the key at his house.
Yeah, they'll just save it. Save it for the Blu-ray.
Wouldn't that be great? Blu-ray comes out in April. You see the finale then.
Yeah.
So have fun, everybody. Yeah. Twin Peaks episode or part 16. Initial overall thoughts besides great. I mean, come on.
Oh man, it's like it's all coalescing, it's all paying off. So many beautiful moments, so many perfect moments.
And we'll get to it, but when the Roadhouse scene kicked in at 5:50 and I knew there were 7 minutes left of the episode, I was pissed because I was thinking, oh no, don't do this again. Don't give me 7 minutes of a song and then end it, And then they didn't.
And they didn't.
And they didn't, and it was beautiful and remarkable, and everything's great with that.
Yes,
okay,
it was.
So let's get into this because there is a lot to talk about. Rancho Rosa logo tonight.
Very colorful.
Yeah, definitely. It was like Christmas on there. We had kind of a bluish green and the red.
Hey, maybe that's what it was. They gave us a Christmas present tonight.
It very much could be.
Yeah.
The red is always the A's. It's very scary that way. Mm-hmm. I don't know what all that's about, but it was definitely colorful tonight.
Yeah.
So the episode begins with that classic Lynch shot ever since Blue Velvet, the car headlights on the road.
Yeah.
And
I really liked that one shot. They framed it. It was very scary where it was the long shot with the headlights in the distance coming around the curve. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So right away where we are before they even show us who's driving.
Of course. Right where we left off last week.
Right. But I mean, there's only one person in this entire movie / series that drives sinisterly, and that's Mr. C. So,
indeed.
With those kind of sound effects. It's certainly not Shelley going home. Right.
Right.
So anyway, so the doppelganger and Richard, they're cruising out in the desert somewhere, I guess. But they must.
At first, I thought they were going to the same place where he got shot. It looked almost the same when he pulled off that dirt road.
I'm pretty sure all of that was filmed around the same area to save, location spending. I mean, we'll back up here in a second, but obviously they're close to Twin Peaks, right? I mean, because Jerry's there.
Right.
I mean, unless he ran across a couple states, which I doubt.
Jerry's like, what? Damn binoculars.
Exactly. So anyway, they pull over and what was weird is I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it because it seemed like when they pulled over, when they cut to the inside cab, it seemed like I couldn't tell, but it looked like the background was still driving, even though they had pulled over.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Either that or there was some sort of reflection, but it certainly seemed like the back projection was still going after they had pulled over.
Maybe it was just dust blowing in the back or something.
It probably was. I'm just saying, when I first saw it, I was like, is that the background projection? I didn't think they did that kind of stuff anymore.
Somebody would have caught that in post.
But they did actually earlier in the season when they were when Albert and Gordon were in the car driving to the prison. They used the projection for that. Yeah. Okay, so they get there. The license plate is SW-51, which of course reminds me of Area 51 and that kind of thing. Yeah. It's kind of fun. And all of a sudden, Jerry Horn shows up driving around or not driving around, running around. And again, this is, in a very different way. I may get a little bit confused tonight, maybe, hopefully not, but is in a very different way. This has a similar effect that Part 8 had on me, just because it was an overload of wow moments.
And abstract concepts, yeah.
Right. So anyway, Jerry Horn's running around, and he comes across, I mean, he's in the distance, but he sees the truck. And he doesn't know, of course, that this is his nephew.
Right.
Or Cooper, more or less.
Who would have thought we were going to see Jerry Horn in that scene when it started? It's like, no.
Honestly, there's only one moment in this entire series where Jerry Horn seemed like he fit, and that was in the Great Northern in the first part.
Right.
Other than that, every time he shows up, I'm like, what is he doing here? But hey,
And what's with his foot?
Yeah, well, that goes back. The last part, when Steven's rubbing his left leg in the woods, and that, of course, is Jerry's leg, and of course, Dougie's left arm, and Teresa's arm. Everyone's having these like spasms with their appendages. Maybe that's why the one-armed man cut his arm off.
Maybe. It's like it keeps going numb anyway. Just hack it off.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they get out of the car, and the doppelganger says to Richard, take this little beeping device and go up towards that rock area over there.
Yeah, I'm 25 years your senior. Get up on the rock. I'm
Right.
right here.
I don't understand, because Richard could have said, yeah, but I just saw you beat a man in arm wrestling.
Right.
You can't walk over there and climb up to a rock. Okay, whatever. So Richard goes over to the rock, and it seems, as of right now, goodbye.
Yeah.
Completely electrified. He was like John Travolta at the end of Grease. It's electrifying.
It's electrifying. Well, electricity played a big role in this episode.
Yeah, well, throughout the whole,
the whole series.
Well, since Sapphire Walk with Me, at least.
Yeah.
So he got sizzled, and maybe I'm wrong, but did I see his head kind of fly off before, and then that sizzled too?
It was satisfying seeing him blow to smithereens.
Totally satisfying. The only thing about it is, I was wondering why the fireman was mentioning him to Cooper, in the first part, because I thought maybe he would play even a more sinister role than just being a punk, more or less.
Yeah.
But anyway, when he is fried, thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Lynch and Frost. I've been dying for his demise for a while.
And it was shedding tears for Richard now.
And at least it was a good demise too. I mean,
it
wasn't just
fireworks. Spectacular fireworks.
Definitely. Okay, so right after that happens, the doppelganger says, "Goodbye, son."
Confirmed.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say this. So in the last part, Norma is in the diner, and she's telling Walter that she wants him to buy out the rest of her shares, because she wants to just take over, or just take care of the Double R Diner proper. Yes. in Twin Peaks. And she says, "I want to take care of my family." And yes. Walter says, "I thought you didn't have any family." Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people over the last week have been saying to me, "Oh, well, Norma's referring to the fact that
the community is her family.
The community is her family." You know what I say to that? A BS.
Yeah,
and this is why I think so. I think that may have played, a little small part of it.
Sure.
But here's the reason. She says in that same scene, I want to spend more time at home. Okay? Mm-hmm. So why would Walter think that she doesn't have any family? Because she's protecting her family. Who is her family? Annie. Right?
Yeah.
Who is Annie's daughter? Linda. Linda is in a chair. Why would Norma need to spend more time at home? Because her niece is in a chair. So I am holding on to the belief, we've been right this whole time, that Richard was going to be the product of Audrey and the doppelganger.
We nailed that one. Yeah.
So my prediction is Linda is the offspring of Annie and Cooper. Two birds with one stone. I've said it since towards the beginning. I'm going to say it all the way through until proven otherwise. I think that's what it is.
I agree. Because why would the giant place importance on Richard and Linda, two birds with one stone? It all makes sense.
Right. So I think that's why Norma's saying that she wants to spend more time at home. And it makes sense because if doppelganger's on the loose and they know that Cooper or Doppel-Cooper, they don't know it's two Coopers, right? But Cooper raped Audrey, because I'm sure that went around town. Maybe that's why the horns don't mention her very much.
Remember the crap we got for positing that as a theory way back when? Like, oh, that's no.
Do you remember when I almost got kicked off YouTube for positing that theory?
Yeah.
Oops.
Confirmed.
So yeah, well so that's my theory, and
Diane too. We talked about that. Remember, it's like that's what happened. That was what was implied. It seemed clear, but then you start to doubt yourself because it's hard to predict this show. But that was what was implied, and now it's confirmed. And that goes along with the evil Doppel-Coop. I mean, it makes sense that he would do heinous acts like that.
Right, because to not have him do heinous acts like that makes him not that bad of a guy.
Would diminish the character.
Right. So, yeah. So Richard's the son, and I believe Linda is the daughter of the product of good Cooper and Annie on the afternoon before the Miss Twin Peaks contest.
So you do believe we will see a Heather Graham appearance?
Not necessarily, but I do think that maybe Annie has died or something of that nature. Not that I want that.
Right.
But I think Linda will be the offspring of her.
Makes sense.
That's what I believe. Okay. So then the doppelganger texts to, we find out later, Diane, all with a happy face, which seems like, as the episode goes on, that he's giving her permission to wipe out Gordon, Albert, and Tammy.
As soon as I saw him say all, that's what I flashed to. I'm going, oh, wow, Diane's been ordered to kill all three.
And the happy face is ultra sinister.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, when Doppelkoop uses an emoticon, it has to have a sinister meaning, even if it's a happy face.
Right. Okay, so then we cut to Rancho Rosa and Hutch and Chantel.
Wait a minute, wait. Got my Cheetos.
But Chantel had a knockoff brand.
It was the spicy kind or whatever.
Oh, okay.
This is the traditional. She had the hot and spicy, which suits her character. But I brought her a big bag. She just was running out of those little ones.
Yeah, she would love to hang out with you.
Yeah.
You got the never-ending bag of Cheetos there. So yeah, Hutch and Chantel, they pull up alongside, across the street from Dougie and Janie E's house, and the FBI also pulls up at the same time. Now, this whole section here, I know there's like two scenes of this. One, it's masterful writing, acting, and directing.
Yes,
both of these scenes, but it also reminded me, in a way. This is an old reference. Probably a lot of you guys are not going to get it, but maybe Hal won't even get it either. This reminded me of the ending of Ruthless People, where like all the people, all the bad guys all come together, and it's just kind of a comedy of errors,
right?
Where everything you're expecting might happen or could happen just does not happen, and it blows up in comedic proportions of escalating.
Right.
Craziness.
Like a domino effect of everything goes wrong.
Right. Now, I mean, we can assume that they weren't going to kill Dougie, right? Because Dougie, why would he be home the next day after electrocuting himself, right?
Yeah.
So we knew that wasn't going to happen. But I mean, we'll get back to this. But the way this episode was going, I thought the Mitchum brothers were going to end up taking them out because I thought they were going to storm in or something while the Mitchum brothers was putting away food, and the brothers would have, killed them, and then Candy would have been like, I clean it up for you,
yeah.
something like that. But obviously that's not what happened. But I thought we were heading towards something like that. The FBI pulls up, and poor Wilson. I mean, he's just always being screamed at by his superior.
He's like a beaten dog.
Yeah, I don't think he likes getting up in the morning and going to work. But yeah, so obviously Dougie and Janie are not there. So then we cut to the hospital, and Cooper's, in bed, and man,
that was the same shot too after he got shot in the original series. That picture of him laying there, remember? And Doc and Lucy were hovering over him, and Sheriff Truman, that it was that same shot of him in the hospital bed. It's almost exactly
well, I mean, the shot was like this,
yeah,
more or less. But he got up right away. In the second season premiere.
Right.
Now I've had people were contacting me saying, because I didn't check it out till after, but people were writing me saying, "Oh my God, are we gonna have to put up with a whole episode of Cooper, comatose in the hospital?"
Right.
Well, no, we didn't.
Nope.
Okay, so I love this scene in the hospital. I mean, I love this whole episode, but the scene in the hospital in particular, you have Janie and Sonny Jim by his side, and then Bushnell shows up, and it's sort of like the ending to the Wizard of Oz, right? Everyone just kind of ends up, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there. Bushnell shows up, the Mitchum brothers show up with flowers, and then Candy and the girls show up with finger foods. It's just. Dougie's such a loved man.
Yeah. And Janie got to thank him for the gym set in the car.
Yeah.
Because every boy needs a gym set.
Exactly. And then I loved the fact that they was it, I can't remember, it was one of them that walked over to Janie and said, I need to borrow your key because we're gonna furnish your house with more foods and stuff like
stock
that.
Your house, yeah.
Stock your house. And I wrote down in my notes, Mitchum brothers, please kill Hutch and Chantel while you're there. Okay, so then we go to South Dakota and into that room where the FBI is kind of holding up shop, and Cole's in there and with all the equipment. And it's kind of a brief scene.
Mm-hmm.
What did you take away from the scene, given what we see later in this episode?
It almost, at first I thought it seemed like they were monitoring Cooper's vital signs because the equipment looked the same as the equipment in the hospital. But I was like, that can't be, So, but I liked the way Gordon intuited Diane approaching the door. That was cool.
Yes, that was great. That was great. I was just trying to figure out, like, the scene of him in the room. Was he kind of getting in tune with the environment so that
I think so. Yeah, his intuition was kicking in.
Right. All right. So then we go back to the hospital. Sonny and Jim needs to use the bathroom. Janie takes him off, and Bushnell is waiting there, and he gets a call saying the FBI has just stopped by the insurance company and they're looking for Dougie. And he's like thinking, you can just see his face.
What
like,
do you do now? He's in a coma.
Right. He just, he has such a perfect look of what?
Yeah. What? This doesn't end.
Much like that blonde girl in the grocery outlet. What? Yeah, it's really cute because he walks over to Dougie like, what on earth is going on around here? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go back to Rancho Rosa, and man, chalk this up to another amazing set piece that David Lynch has directed.
Yeah.
I could not believe this scene.
So good.
Because anything that I expected to happen didn't happen, but the payoff happened in again, I've been saying this since the beginning. This show is giving you everything you want in a way you never thought you wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That I go back to my interview that I did with Jennifer Lynch, where she told me that, the next movie my dad films is going to be mind-blowing. And this is what she was referring to, but obviously she couldn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when someone says that, it's a load of hogwash. But I think in this instance, I do think that this series is pretty mind-blowing if you think about it, especially when you're comparing Dougie stabbing the electrical current with Charlotte Yee in the roadhouse crawling on the ground and screaming, and the fact that it matches up to Janie E's scream.
I mean, you're right about that. Usually when people say, oh, it's going to be mind-blowing, that's a bunch of hyperbole, but that's usually not the case in the world of Lynch. It's like when they say they're going to blow your minds, they're pretty confident that they're going to do it.
But Lynch has never said that.
Right. But Mark Frost was kind of saying, he said, if you think we have a high standard to live up to, we think that, times 10. So at that point I went, oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, they're not just cashing the paycheck.
No.
Because if they wanted to just cash the paycheck, this thing could have just been fan service all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not fan service. And remember, Kyle MacLachlan did say this is going to be a challenging work to get through, but the payoff is going to be good. And I know we still have 2 hours left and anything can happen. But
tonight proves that we're going that direction of the super payoff. Because I love this. This is just like climaxing so beautifully. Right.
Okay, so Hutch and Chantel are still there outside Dougie's house. Wilson and some other guy pull up. Or was it him and his superior or not? I
thought it was them, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, yeah,
it was the two other guys. Maybe the boss went back to the office.
Yeah, so they pull up the side of the street. The Mitchum brothers pull up. It's just like, oh my goodness, this is what on earth is going to happen here?
Hutch and Chantel, she's eating her Cheetos going, this looks like a circus parade.
Right. Now, again, I'm still thinking that Hutch and Chantel are going to get out of the truck, go inside the house thinking Dougie's with the Mitchum brothers, and because obviously Chantel doesn't care about plugging multiple people. We saw that in the last episode. So she doesn't care about taking out innocent bystanders.
Well, Hutch had to stop her because she's like, "Is that him?" It's like, "Does that look like anything like our boss?" She was ready to shoot the Mitchum brothers.
No, I think it was the reverse. I think he wanted to shoot, and she was saying that it didn't look like her boss.
Oh, I thought it was the other way, but
again, one and the same practically with those two.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to come in and be like, "Oh, we're exterminators, you need to come in," or something like that. But no, that's not what happened. I don't think anybody expected what happened.
Yeah, the Russian guy wants to get in his driveway. The wild card factor kicks in.
And you know what? That's usually how the universe works.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's so many times where people will like go to commit a crime or rob a store or something like that. And it's the one time that, an off-duty cop just happens to be there, and it's just the way the universe works. And this is the way
plans of mice and men, as they say.
Yeah, this is the way the universe takes out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this guy, I like the fact that, first of all, Hutch isn't too sad about like his friend Sammy passing away, and Chantel is super upset that she's on her last bag of Cheetos.
Oh man, it's rough. I mean, come on, man, you got an addiction to Cheetos. It's all encompassing.
Yes, I think that's pretty much her diet.
Yeah, well, that and Wendy's.
Yeah, that's true.
And torture.
Yeah. So anyway, they're supposedly blocking this guy's driveway, but they're not. It seemed like to me that they weren't, because why would they pull up and block someone's driveway? Because that would be calling attention to themselves, right? But I guess maybe they were parking too close to this guy's driveway. So this guy pulls up and he's just like, "Hey, you're in front of my driveway." They're like, "We're not in front of your driveway." And of course, using more expletives than that. And then that guy gets in his car and rams them.
Yeah, I'll just move your car.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, the FBI is doing nothing.
Nothing. They're just observing.
They're just observing this. I guess they're thinking, well, hasn't.
Let's see how this plays out. Yeah.
But they don't get out of their car until the whole thing is over.
Yeah.
Right. And it kind of shows, through this entire series, law enforcement has been slow in so many aspects of this series.
Yes.
I just can't believe that they would let a guy open fire with like, a machine gun or so, or Uzi on the streets of Rancho Rosa, and they don't get out of the car till the guy stops shooting.
Right, and he went on a long time.
And he reloaded.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Chantel like shoots a shot at the car, and then I believe it was her, and then the guy got out, shoots her, and then it's on.
Yeah.
The big gunfight happens, and Hutch and Chantel start taking off, and the guy starts firing his gun at them, and just walking down the street, and kind of reminded me of like those car thieves we saw earlier, that were cruising the area, looking for cars to rip off. So obviously there's a crime element in this area as well.
What kind of neighborhood is this?
But you brought up something I completely forgot, that I think it was me or you or whoever, somebody said
2 weeks ago we said they're going to go out and hail bullets like Bonnie and Clyde, and it looked exactly like that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. What a great way to take out those characters, and in an unexpected way.
Yeah.
And I loved the cutaway shot to Nepper and Belushi just like outside the house going, "What kind of neighborhood is this?"
Yeah. Get out of here. Wonder what Candy was doing at that point.
Spacing out, chasing a fly,
doing her hand motion.
Yeah. So their truck goes off the road, and the FBI gets out, and what a great shot when they're like, put the gun down, and the camera is on on that crane and stuff. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I like how the Mitchum brothers like, oh, people are struggling.
Right. Yeah. People are stressing out.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to make you snap.
Right. Okay. So here's what happened. I'm watching on the Showtime live streaming right then and there. It goes out.
Your feed went out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I pushing the button, get back there.
Yeah.
And I got back, and we're in the hospital room, and Bushnell's hearing the humming sound.
Yes.
So I don't know how much I missed in between that, but I don't think probably.
No, you didn't miss much. No, that was
okay.
it.
Okay, so so here's the sound from that we've heard inside the Great Northern.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like has something to do with the one-armed man from this episode, right? So
yeah.
So why would that sound be showing up in the Great Northern then? If the one-armed man, if that's the one, you know what I mean?
Good question. Yeah, it seems to be heralding the Red Room coming into our world, but we haven't seen that in the Great Northern.
But Bob and the little man were there when Josie died.
True.
So it could be her in the Great Northern, because she did have some sort of connection with those spirits in those last moments of her life.
And they are kind of answering things, so maybe we will get an answer to Josie and the doorknob, or what happened to Josie, kind of thing.
It doesn't even have to be a long explanation. They could just say, Josie's watching out for us. Something like that. I don't know.
Or it could just be left a mystery, and we'll assume that it might be. It's just one of those things we can ponder and wonder.
Right. Wow. So Mike shows up in kind of a vision. Cooper wakes up.
100%.
100%. But when he shoots up out of bed, it's like, oh my God, he's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is true with the 315 connection from part 15 or part 3 and then part 15. That's fantastic.
Sure
is. So yeah, he pops up, and I like how the one-armed man says, finally.
Yeah, it's about time.
I think
echoing all the viewers.
Exactly. But I don't know. I mean, okay, do you think this was the right time? Obviously, we're getting towards the end, so him coming back as Cooper. Do you, as a fan, though, think that it should have been earlier?
I like the whole story, and I think that you're theorizing about what the last part might be, and what's your name. I think we are heading that direction.
I do and I don't.
Yeah.
Because
said he'd be back walking through the red door.
Yes, but here's where I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench into it.
Okay.
Cooper asked the one-armed man, do you have the seed?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, make another one.
Right. So maybe he'll make another one for Janie and Sonny Jim.
Right.
Yeah. Another tulpa.
So he might make a Dougie to send into back to the house
to satisfy their needs. Yeah.
Right. I mean, who knows? Cooper could still go back.
I'll bet you're right. Because why would they need another one? Why would he want to make another one? It's to replace the one that he replaced.
Right. And he's not the bad side of Cooper, so there can be two of them out there.
Yeah.
Or they could make Dougie look something else. Give him have him lose some weight and give him some plastic surgery or something. I don't know. I mean,
Jamie's going to be disappointed if he goes back to being the old Dougie, because she's pretty hot for the new one.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so Sonny Jim and Janie, they come in, and Cooper is of sound mind and body, and man, it was overwhelming. We knew this moment was probably going to happen, right? I know there were some fans out there saying Cooper's never coming back. Lynch and Frost are going to leave him as Dougie, and I kept thinking, no way.
Right?
Why? And if they brought him back in the last 10 minutes of the series, they knew that would disappoint people.
Right.
Right. So
if it ended with him popping up saying 100%, I'm back, the end. Why? Why would you do that? You want to see him in action now.
Right. That's where season 4 comes in, Hal.
Oh, okay.
I love the line, though, where Cooper says, pass me the sandwiches, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been eating chocolate cake for the last week. I mean, so.
Yeah. I thought maybe he'd take a long pee again.
Right. I love when Bushnell says the FBI is looking for you, and he goes, "Perfect."
Perfect, yeah.
Right? It's all coming together here.
Yeah. And Cooper's always a step ahead, so it's like perfect with his personality too.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody else is like, "Huh, what's going on? FBI's coming to see you." Oh, good.
I mean, they kick in the the falling music and everything. I mean, they could have easily kicked in Celine Dion's "It's All Coming Back to Me Now," because it was amazing. So here's the thing, we've been mentioning that Lynch is drawing on a lot of his previous works in this show. The moment that Cooper says goodbye to Bushnell, right, and he says something like, I want to thank you for being, I don't know, like a kind, wonderful person or whatever.
Yeah,
that is, it's not an exact quote, but it is very, very close to that scene in the Straight story when Alvin Straight gets up after staying with that family, and he takes off his hat and says, "I want to thank you for kindness to a stranger."
Oh yeah.
Right. And I that's one of my favorite scenes of all of Lynch's work. And I was like, good on you, because Bushnell's a good guy. And I'm glad that characters like Cooper can acknowledge people's goodness and tell that to them. Right. He doesn't let them go through life not knowing that they were good people. He's letting them know.
And that Mark Frost and David Lynch find that important to show scenes like that, which is all part of this great series.
Honestly, the world would be a better place if everyone acted like that.
That's right.
So, all right. So Cooper says,
that's why this show's spiritual to so many people, that it sinks into your soul, because it is very human. Exactly.
So he says, I'm going to drop off Sonny Jim and Jenny at the casino. Presumably they're going to probably stay at the hotel while he's gone or something like that to protect them. And then he says to the Mitchum brothers, "Gas up the plane. We're going to Spokane."
Spokane, yeah.
And I'm like, the Mitchum brothers are going to Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
Oh my God, please. This is what I want. I want to see the Mitchum brothers. If they didn't take out Hutch and Chantel, I want to see them blowing away woodsmen. And I want to see Freddie with his green glove just crushing skulls. I want a full-on Armageddon fight, because Sarah Palmer did say men are coming, so they need to have an arsenal of people with them. That
I want to see the Mitchum brothers befriend Carl Rodd and give him a new Fat Trout trailer park with all the trappings.
Yeah,
maybe even a gym set for the kids in the
back. I know this is off topic with this episode, but you've had a week to think about it. Do you think, since you just were mentioning the Fat Trout trailer part, do you think Becky's dead?
Sure seemed that was what was troubling Steven.
Yeah, because when I went back and rewatched that scene with the full subtitles on, his dialogue is completely suggesting that in several ways.
Yes. And other things too, because I did the same thing. I watched it with the subtitles on, because we were saying it was kind of unintelligible on the first viewing. And what was that stuff about the rhinoceros and the turquoise? Did you catch that? When he's babbling about, "Are you going to go up with me?" Which I don't know what he means by that. Whether it's heaven or the afterworld or whatever.
Right.
Because he knew he was going to shoot himself. But then he's like, and then the rhinoceros and the turquoise.
Well, it reminds me of the girls in the Roadhouse talking about the penguins and the zebras.
Zebras, yeah, exactly. Maybe the Black Lodge has a zoo somewhere.
And over here we have the zebras.
Yeah.
And the penguin. One and the same.
It's the Black Lodge menagerie, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Okay, so we have with the music blasting of falling, we have Cooper coming out, and it's been so weird. How many weeks have we been saying Dougie Cooper or something like that? Now I can just say Cooper.
Yeah,
it sounds so weird coming out of my mouth saying that. Just anyway,
and we've all been going, "Where's Angelo Badalamenti's original score?" It's like, where's that?
Oh, come on,
because they want to pay off.
We knew that.
Yeah.
we've been speculating for a long time that when Cooper comes back, that's when the music's going to kick back, and we got that, and we got Audrey's dance tonight and all that. So okay, so I love when Cooper just tells Jenny, "Get out of the driver's seat. I'm driving."
I liked before he left the hospital though, when they get the FBI or something, and they had that beautiful framed shot of Cooper, and he just goes, "I am FBI." That was so perfect.
Listen. If we weren't all so happy and cheering and just like in heaven, that's a rather cheesy moment. But
I don't care.
But no, that's what I'm saying though. If it's a cheesy moment, but it's earned.
I would have been happy if it was even cheesier if he would have said, I'm Special Agent. I'm Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Dale Cooper. I would have been like, yeah.
And then he looks over at Janie and says, as long as those melons are freshly squeezed.
Yeah.
All right. So Sonny Jim notices, hey, Dad can really drive well, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's talking a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, Dougie must just been one of the most catatonic human beings on the planet. I mean, they never even thought there was anything wrong with him for several episodes.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, then we cut to Diane, and she gets the text from the doppelganger. Text came at 4:31. Another 4-3, almost 0. And of course, it was the one that said, the text says all with the happy face. And then she's like, I remember. I remember. And then she starts texting like more coordinates. So I guess she hadn't sent the Ruth Davenport coordinates to him, or, you know, who gave him the Ray gave him the bad coordinates, correct?
2 were the same and 1 was wrong. So Ray's was wrong, because Ray said he wouldn't give it to him. So maybe Ray's were the bad ones.
Do you think the doppelganger knew that he was sending Richard to his death, or do you think he was just like, oh well?
I'm not certain, you know, because what would be the point of that? I think he wasn't sure what was going to happen. So let's see what happens.
Right. Because, I mean, he wasn't. It
was like the canary in a coal mine.
Right. He wasn't thinking he was going to bump into his son out on the road. So
yeah.
So there's no way really to predict that. Okay. So she sends the coordinates, checks her bag. She's got a gun in there. Cue up American Woman from part 1. And you know something bad is about to go down.
Yes.
So, you know, she's walking, she gets in the elevator, she's going down the hallway, and that music is just pumping, and it's just, I love the sound of that David Lynch remix of it.
I cranked it up, and it was blasting the surround sound. Probably my next door neighbors were going, what the hell?
Which, by the way, I've been rewatching a lot of the episodes. What the hell is in so many of the episodes.
So many. I love it.
That you know, one of our viewers should make us a Twin Peaks The Return Obnoxious Anonymous poster with that as the tagline. What the hell?
Yeah. Or make a what the hell Supercut video.
Hey, we have that amazing Wendy's commercial made, right? So
yeah,
which is absolutely hilarious. Okay. So here's what I was thinking, and I didn't get the payoff, but this is what I was thinking. And maybe there is some sort of connection here, but I maybe not. When Diane was walking down the hallway towards the room, I was thinking, can you guess what I was thinking?
I thought she was going to come in blazing.
Okay, maybe, but that's not entirely what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was thinking of the moment in a previous episode when Tammy comes around the corner in slow motion, and then the handle of the door went out of frame like that electrical television static.
That weird glitchy, twitchy.
So I thought we were maybe jumping back to a moment as to why that was the glitch happened. Didn't seem to be the case, but you know, maybe could it be that glitch is sort of a protective spell or something around that room, so Cole could know who was at the door?
Yeah, maybe Cole's tapped into maybe that's part of his, he knew she was out there. It's like, hi, Diane, before she even got to the door.
Right. So maybe that's sort of like a protective blue rose thing they knew.
Right. His invisible shield.
Hey, you know what? We have a superhero green glove now in this series.
Right.
We have giant / fireman in alternate dimensions.
Right.
Bob and a bubble. Yeah. Right. Anything is possible.
Yeah. Why not have an invisible shield of intuition?
Okay. So, she gets to the door and Cole's like, come in, Diane. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
I was so nervous. And frankly, I'm glad it went down the way it did, because after Miguel Ferrer died, I didn't want to see him get shot and killed in this series.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, that would have been really sad. Anyway, so she comes in and she sits down and she says, do you want to know what happened to me that night, more or less? Now, why is she going to open up and tell them that? Okay, because Diane, does she want closure with them before she takes them out? Is that the idea? That's what it seemed like.
I think the concept of the tulpa plays in here, because she's not herself, but yet there's elements of the real Diane. So I think sometimes the memories are overlapping.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So here's where we get the title. We thought the title was going to be in reference possibly to that TMZ leak.
Yeah.
Of course, we're wrong.
Of course.
And I'm glad.
Yeah.
Although I do want to see where the hell that scene comes in. You know what? Honestly, I'm beginning to think more and more that was a troll scene.
Yeah. Red herring scene.
I think Lynch and Frost, unless they prove me wrong in the next two parts, I believe at this moment, Lynch and Frost shot that scene outside, to test the leaks.
I don't know, though, because we are converging onto Twin Peaks now, and it would make sense for Coop to visit. Well, let's not say what it is in case people haven't seen that spoiler. But, would go to that location.
I just find it very odd that they would shoot something so close to the finale without blocking the streets and, maybe letting the people who live there be there, but not people come on in, come watch this scene be shot.
Yeah.
Considering all that's involved in it.
Considering the level of secrecy that they've gone to otherwise, why would that be so public?
But after that leak, it was on lockdown.
True.
So maybe it was a test to see just how, what they could, if people were going to start blabbing everything. And they knew people were going to blab the moment. I don't remember what website it was that started posting up the Nadine storefronts and stuff like that.
Right, the name of her storefront.
Yeah, I remember Lynch and Frost got super PO'd about that.
Yeah. So maybe they didn't realize that the level of the social media would just explode on every tidbit.
Right, but I think,
and that's when they shut it down hard.
Oh, that they did.
Yeah.
you didn't hear a peep.
Zero came out after that.
Right. Okay, so she tells them that basically Cooper, she hadn't seen him in 4 years. Mm-hmm. And he walks in and no knock, no doorbell, she says. And they kind of talked. And then she says that they kissed. And then she says it wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
But that allowed her to know the difference.
Yeah.
Between the first and this time.
Yeah. As soon as the lips touched, something went wrong.
And I like that she said, he saw the fear in me and smiled.
Yeah, I'll bet it was a similar smile to that smile that we got in Sarah's face when she took her face off. That creepy smile.
That was Laura's smile.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was just some demonic smile.
No, that's Laura's homecoming smile.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. And it certainly wasn't the Cheryl Lee Missing Pieces smile with her looking under the fan.
Right.
But it made me remember season 2, right? There's a man in a smiling bag and all that. It just all of that kind of creeps in, especially with them saying that Bob is eager for fun and all that type of thing. He wears a smile, everybody run.
Yeah. And all the stuff about fear opening the Black Lodge, you know, and Wyndham Earl remember saying, I like the fear I'm feeling.
Right. So she says that yes, right, I'm going to say it, YouTube. He raped her.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna skate around and say sexual assault. I mean, it's
the show didn't skate around it.
No. So anyway, yeah, he raped her. And then she says he took her to a strange gas station. Hello, convenience store. Da da da.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that says to me that is where the tulpa was made.
Most likely, yeah.
Because some people were suggesting, well, does that mean Diane has always been a tulpa? I don't think so. I think that she was Diane until that point, and then she was messed with. But
so if that's the tulpa Diane, where's the real Diane?
Right. Is the one in the Black Lodge wasn't the real one.
No, that's the tulpa, because the same thing happened to her as the tulpa Dougie.
Flew away.
Yeah. Well, and the head blew off in the smoke and turned into the pea, the seed or whatever.
Right. But, you know, in part 2, Laura flew up in the air and flew away too.
Mm-hmm.
So was that Laura's doppelganger in you know, messing with Cooper? Or do you think that was actual Laura? Because when Ray Wise says, or Leland Palmer says, find Laura, maybe Laura's been missing, and you know, she's been protected by the angels and she's just not around. You know, yeah, maybe it's just the doppelganger Laura moving around messing with Cooper.
Well, maybe there's a tulpa Laura too, in addition to the doppelganger Laura. Because maybe that's why she said, I feel like I know her, but sometimes my arms bend back. You know, it's like, I feel like I know her, but it's not, you know, everybody's saying, oh, it's not me. I don't feel like me. Like maybe Audrey's a tulpa.
Right. Okay. So then Diane says, I'm in the sheriff's station. I'm in the sheriff's station. So already a theory going around is the real Diane is Nido. Wow. Who else is in the sheriff's station?
But why would she look so different?
I don't know. I'm just
because all the tulpas and the doppelgangers look the same.
I agree, but who else is in the sheriff's station?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something to ponder. But then she says, I'm not me. I'm not me. She pulls out a gun before she even can pull it out. Albert and Tammy are quick draw McGraw.
Right on it.
And why are they right on it? Because they knew this moment was coming.
Yeah.
Because if they're intercepting her text messages, they intercepted all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Why didn't Gordon whip a pistol out?
Because Gordon is not that kind of guy. He lets the Stooges do it.
Yeah. Well, maybe he knew they had it covered, you know, and he didn't want to. He was more out front. They were behind the desk, so they could hide their pieces.
To be honest, I'm surprised one of them did not get shot.
That would be tragic.
Usually in one, or maybe not killed, but I thought maybe one of them was going to get wounded, because usually in a David Lynch violent moment, you know, the good guys don't always win.
Yeah, but they would. It's very hard to replace a Blue Rose Task Force member.
Apparently, and we except for a name drop, there's been no attempt to find Chet Desmond. So
right. Poor Chet.
Right. Yeah. All right. Then we go into the Black Lodge, and there is the tulpa, and Diane there, and the one-armed man's there's with her, and man, does this guy ever leave the Black Lodge? I mean, the original series, he was always outside.
Yeah, where's Mike? Where's Philip Gerard?
Well, according to the credits, he's Philip Gerard. But he's not acting like Philip Gerard. He's acting like Mike.
Wonder if Philip Gerard's a tulpa.
No, because he was possessed.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so he tells her, someone manufactured you. My God, is there like a Willy Wonka, plant around here that's just manufacturing people?
Tulpa factory. Well, yeah. The concept of the tulpa is that created in your mind, and then it becomes manifest. So it's like, right? Because, you know, it's like you create it in your mind first, and then you almost have to become schizophrenic, and you give it a life in your head, and then you can take that in theory to a degree where it actually manifests into a form.
I'm going to take your word on that, Hal.
I've read a little bit about it since they mentioned that word.
Seems like you have.
I have. Because it makes more sense that way, you know, that it's manufactured for a devious purpose, but it comes out of your head. That might be like, that's where maybe where the dreamer who dreams the dream and then lives in the dream, you know, we create it in our heads and then we live inside of it or live through it or something.
Well, I think we'll get to that as the episode goes on.
Yeah.
Okay. So have to say the scene in the casino where Cooper tells Janie and Sonny Jim goodbye, pretty heartfelt.
Really nice.
Especially since, you know, so many people couldn't stand Janie E for a couple episodes, and now it's very it's just very heartwarming. And he tells them,
what's not to like about Naomi Watts? I mean,
yeah, I know. Yeah, but he says, you know, I will be back. I am your dad, and I was tricked too, because I wrote, okay, this is Endgame here, that we're going to solve whatever we're solving or doing in this series, and then Cooper will return to Rancho Rosa and be with Janie and Sonny Jim. Mm-hmm. But then after I wrote that, I thought, well, no, wait a minute, because he asked the one-armed man to make another. So that makes sense to me.
It does.
Cooper doesn't want to be tied down. He just got out of 25 years of jail. He just want
to. Yeah, he doesn't want to have the settle down in Rancho Rosa. I don't see that for Coop.
Exactly. Now Janie E obviously thinks something is weird going on, because she's like, "Whoever you are, thank you." So she's like, "This is not the man I married here." Yeah. She's probably hoping to God that he doesn't press, you know, charges against her for, you know, raping him.
Yeah. No, I think he had no problem with that.
Remember those articles that came out saying that she was
abused? Yeah, she was raping him.
She was raping him. She's
raping the disabled man
that could not consent. Remember those stories?
I think he was consenting. He was pretty much flying at that point. I was like, that could be seen by a judge as consent. It's like, I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, so then we go into the limo, and I love this scene. It was a small little scene, but the Mitchum brothers are like, let me get this straight. You're an FBI agent. You've been missing for 25 years. You know, they're like, they got their drinks going on, and he's like, we're going where? And he's like, we're going to Twin Peaks. We're going to the sheriff's department. And they're like, Dougie, we're not. We shouldn't be here. And I love that
we're not down with law enforcement to that degree.
And then Cooper says, you know, you guys have hearts of gold.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just, I never would have thought the Mitchum brothers were going to make their way to Twin Peaks in this series.
Yeah. Well, Coop's been having that effect. He's changing people's lives.
Right.
Even as the Dougie persona,
how much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet? I know we only have 2 hours left.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchum brothers buy out the Great Northern.
Yeah, could be. They turn over a new leaf and decide that the town of Twin Peaks, they're going to revitalize it. Maybe they'll open a casino and it'll change the economy there.
They make a deal with Ben Horn. We're going to have a casino.
Exactly.
Woo!
Yeah. Ghostwood Casino.
And then Ben gets on the phone. Sylvia, how much money do you need?
No, it'll be the Pine Weasel Casino.
All right, so we're heading towards Twin Peaks, and then we cut to the Roadhouse with 7 minutes left of this episode, and I was screaming because we have been screwed over before with a 7 minute long song taking over the whole episode, and I was like, no, please don't do this because this is such a great episode. Don't give the last 10 minutes or so to just a song. I don't care how good the song is.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to Eddie Vedder. So if they would have ended it there, I would go, well, we got 2 hours left, you know, and the Eddie Vedder song was really good, and the words were good. And
but aren't you happy they didn't?
Oh,
you know?
Very much so. Very much so.
That's
well, they sure gave us a nice coda scene for for sure. You know.
Okay, so yeah, we got the Eddie Vedder song, but he's going by the name of what, Edward Louis Severinsen or something.
Edward Louis Severinsen III, which is his actual birth name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So this song he's playing, Out of Sand. Now this song leaked, or maybe it was dropped, I don't know, like months before the series came out.
Well, he's been playing it live a couple of times too. I've seen videos of him playing it acoustically.
Right. But this was like the first song that was officially, or I don't know if it was officially, released saying this is part of the new Twin Peaks soundtrack.
Yep, I remember that.
Right. Okay, so the song goes on, and it's a, it's a really good song, but I was just like, I want more. I want more of the show before we go out.
Yeah, but if you listen to the words, it's like, it made me sad because it says something about, the sand is running out. It's like the show, the time's running out.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's a very nice, beautiful song. I'm just saying I wasn't ready for the episode to be over.
No.
That's all.
Me neither. I'm never ready for the episode to be over.
Right.
I'm not ready for this series to be over. Can you believe we only have one more week of new Twin Peaks action? In a week, it's going to be over.
You know what? I don't believe that to be true. And I'm not talking about a new season.
Well, we got the book.
We got the book. And something tells me that we'll probably get, I know Lynch doesn't shoot a lot of extra stuff, but I mean, in terms of like bonus feature type of things, but wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't an hour or so of deleted scenes from this series.
Or there may be a season 4, or like we've talked about, a mini series or a movie, and Lynch may give Mark Frost his blessing to do with it what he will. Maybe the fans would be okay with that. I don't know. I'm still of the, no David Lynch, no Twin Peaks kind of mindset. But, with this beautiful magnum opus, if Mark Frost wanted to write some sort of continuation, I wouldn't be all that negative about it.
I'm actually, as much of Lynch fan that I am, I'm actually okay with other people directing things in the Twin Peaks world, because Lynch only directed 6 episodes of the original series. And I think some of the other directors of that original series did really great episodes. There's not one bad episode in Twin Peaks.
And if they got some of the original directors, which would tie it in, to the originals, it would be part of the family, as they say, like Leslie Linka Glatter and
Tim
Hunter
and Leslie Linka Glatter, she is Showtime royalty for doing Homeland and things like that. So I could see that happening. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I would be okay if they brought back Tim Hunter, Leslie Linka Glatter, people like that, that knew the style. I would be okay with it. I can see why they didn't do it for this thing, because it has to be a singular vision for this series to make sense.
Right.
There's no way somebody could direct one episode and another episode and have it link up the way we're doing the cross cutting and stuff like that.
Right.
That's just not happening.
And it's like, if you think about the original pilot being the template for the rest of the season 1 and 2, and then this being a template for what may yet be to come, it would work. You could have the Woodsman in there and the Blue Rose cases. And
what I'm hoping for is I don't even need a TV show or movies, even though, that would be great. I hope they kind of do some more like books and allow people to kind of like, kind of like what they're doing with Star Wars, like keep things in the continuity, but allow an author to come in and do a side story about this, like how did Nadine set up her shop, or I don't know, something.
Yeah.
And just, Lynch and Frost sign off on it, and it's a book, so it's not gonna really interfere with things, and they don't have to get Wendy Roby involved and all that kind of thing. So there's ways around it, and I would be okay with that. Lynch and Frost could make a whole lot of money doing that.
It's just, we want to see more, man. We're not ready for it to end. It's been so good.
Well, and they bring up so many ideas, and there are brains move that flow around. So there's so much to explore.
Yeah. And now that we know we can kind of go back in time and stuff like that, like we talked about, we want to see that, Leland at Pearl Lakes and all that stuff. And you could have totally different actors, if they do flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't believe we're gonna get a season 4, but I can see, like, Lynch wanted to do the a couple other movies after Fire Walk with Me. I could see Showtime saying, "Listen, we don't want to lose the subscribers we have, so we're going to ask you if you would like to do 2 or 3, standalone movies on the Showtime network." And I could see David Lynch directing one, Mark Frost directing the other.
Yeah.
And maybe Leslie Lincoln Glatter doing a third one or something like that, and having Lynch and Frost write them.
Or maybe we could do a Twin Peaks Christmas special.
No. No, because it will be like that Star Wars Christmas special where we'll just hear Black Lodge talk for like 25 minutes.
Or maybe it'll be like that musical Let's Rock. Full length.
Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing. Okay, so let's go back to, we're at the Roadhouse and Eddie Vedder's finished a song, or while he's playing a song, Audrey and Charlie show up at the Roadhouse.
That was so cool.
And it was like,
don't cut to the booth again with random people. It's
right.
Like, oh, Audrey and Charlie actually got out of the house.
But here's where I was wrong, because they walk in and I'm thinking, okay, we're getting another confirmation here. She's not in a mental institution or anything like that, because they're at the Roadhouse. She's not in a coma. She's at the Roadhouse.
Well, seemingly, but
okay. Well, I'm just saying, when you first see it,
right,
you're thinking, okay, well, she's not in these other states of mind because she's at the Roadhouse.
That's right.
And I like how Charlie says, here's to us, and she says, here's to Billy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the announcer comes on and says, next up is Audrey's dance. And I'm telling you, at that moment, I heard Twin Peaks fans around the world's jaw drop.
Definitely. Including mine.
I was like this.
Yeah.
Like that.
And the dance floor parts, man. Like, and
right there and there that Audrey is not of sound mind and body at this moment.
Exactly. Because now we're getting into the surrealistic, this makes no sense in a literal sense.
Right. And some people have brought up the idea already of, well, does that mean all the Roadhouse scenes have been imaginary? Which I will say no, because James and Freddie got in a fight and got arrested, and they're in the jail. So
right,
no, can't be. But this scene definitely is. I wonder if Lynch just said, Audrey, get in there and do an interpretive dance, because that was not the Audrey dance. That was moving all around and stuff like that.
It was the same feel. It was the same mindset. She's doing the dreamy dance.
She was doing the dreamy dance, but then we saw what happened. What her dance must have looked like after we did that fade out in episode 2. After she was in the diner dancing in front of Donna, it turns into it turns into whatever that sorceress girl from Suicide Squad or something. It
was the extended version.
it was the director's cut.
Director's cut of Audrey's dance. Yeah, exactly. The deleted scene. Right. 25 years later.
And I love the crowd doing this.
He's swaying.
Oh my God. That haunted me more than Audrey's dance, just watching that.
Yeah, because they fell into the spell. At least they didn't hold up their cell phones.
Right. So then we get a hard cut to a white room, and Audrey looks at herself in the mirror and screams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
did she just scream, or did she say something? I thought she said a couple of words.
I can't remember.
I have to rewatch.
But it went
in the chat now, maybe.
It went to black, and then I heard a scream or something like that.
Yeah, it was so quick, and you're jarring. You're like, what? Whoa!
So she's in a white room, presumably a mental institution from what Doppel Coop did to her, and Richard Hornbein, a soulless creature.
Yeah, it did look like the nut house, as they've been saying.
Right, and that would explain why the Horns don't mention her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're kind of embarrassed by the fact that Audrey was supposed to take over the Great Northern. Probably Ben was hoping to be retired at this moment, and Audrey take over because that's what she asked. Daddy, please, let me be your daughter again. She'll teach me the business, that type of thing.
And she gave birth to the devil spawn.
Pretty much, Rosemary's Baby, right there.
Yeah,
he has his father's eyes.
Yeah. The black shark eyes.
But that look that Audrey gave into the mirror, I know that look well. That's the look I give every morning when my alarm clock goes off.
I know that feeling.
So,
and now why do you think? Because really, I find these Audrey scenes to be very meaty and amazing. What was her complaint, do you think? Or was that just red herring stuff to throw people off? Like, my part sucks or whatever. What was her complaint?
I'll tell you exactly what her complaint was.
Okay.
These actors did not get the script.
You think she just got the first parts with Charlie and didn't see what was to come, and she jumped the gun and tweeted how dissatisfied she was, and then she got the other stuff later? I
think she got the first scene.
Right.
Because they didn't get multiple scenes. They got one scene at a time. And Lynch, a lot of times, would change the dialogue right before they started shooting.
So you think she filmed that one scene and then went on a Twitter rant, and then No,
I think she read the first scene and went on the Twitter rant.
Okay, gotcha.
And she probably got taken aside and was like, "This is gonna pay off."
Yeah. Yeah, settle down. We got you covered.
And honestly, from that first scene, I can understand her being upset because I didn't much care for the. I thought that scene was way too long.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a bad scene. I just felt it was a little too long. But then, as the Audrey and Charlie scenes have gone on, they've been more concise and shorter and to the point more.
Does it surprise you, because we've heard nothing from other actors, but I trust David Lynch? Why do you think she didn't trust?
She's an outspoken individual.
True.
I mean, just watch her tweets. I mean, that's just who she is. Yeah. She'll pour out a bunch of emotion and then delete them all.
Right. So she doesn't think before she hits.
Maybe she does now.
Yeah.
But at that time, and I remember she got really pissed off because I happened to be home that day when all those tweets started happening, and so I was like, well, no one else is talking about it. I'll do a quick news story. And so we put up a little video of just saying Sherilyn Fenn tweets out her anger at David Lynch for, we don't know why, but what could this be about? And
that has to be it, that she just got that first scene, went on a rant. And then, because later, like I said, I've heard her say, oh, he wrote me a beautiful part, so she's totally changed her tune.
Well, she now knows the art of it.
Right, exactly.
But when you don't have, there's a few actors in Lynch that Lynch works with that just completely just says whatever you want, David. Kyle, Harry Dean Stanton, Laura Dern, Naomi Watts. I mean, Harry Dean Stanton will just show up for anything,
Sure. At 90, he's happy to be doing movies, I'm sure,
Right, and Lynch has never failed him.
No.
I mean, I've enjoyed his roles in all of Lynch's stuff, but I still think Johnny Farragut in Wild at Heart is like a fantastic character and perfect for Harry Dean Stanton.
Absolutely,
just absolutely wonderful. So there it is, episode or part 16. No knock, no doorbell.
Great.
So should we go to the chat and take some questions before we go?
How psyched are you for next week?
I'm super psyched. I'm super anxious.
Me too.
Not anxious like, oh, it's going to be bad. But
no, I don't think it's going to be bad at all.
I'm anxious because I don't want it to be over.
I don't either.
And I don't know what my reaction is going to be, because it's not like, okay, next week. See, now, like right now, the episode's over and we have next week. But after next week, we don't have anything until Mark Frost's book, which is a month and a half away or 2 months away.
Perfect for Halloween, though. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, but how am I going to feel? Because I'm not finishing the episode next weekend. I'm finishing the series.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be coming off that.
Do you think Mark Frost's book will be anticlimactic, or do you think it will make you want to rewatch it right now because of the new information.
I already want to start rewatching the series again.
I do too.
And I've seen each episode at least 5 or 6 times.
I watched episode 1. I was rewatching last week's episode, and then I was like, I want more, so I went back and rewatched.
Well, that opening scene in part 1 when Cooper's there with the giant or fireman. No,
I know. I keep calling him the giant too.
Well, because he is the giant.
He is.
I'm sorry. Like fireman is retroactive calling him that. That scene, when I first saw it, and I really liked the scene when I first saw it, and don't have any complaints about it, but you have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
But when you go after a few parts, you go back and rewatch part 1, it's like, okay, this makes a little more sense. And then a few more, you go back and rewatch a little bit of it, makes more sense. This show is going to completely benefit from massive, and I mean massive, repeat viewings.
Yeah, massive quantities, like the cherry pie.
No, seriously, because
I'm with you. When I watched episode 1, man, it's like the pacing that was initially super disorienting, and you're kind of going, "What's going on?" Even though I was liking it, I was like, "The pacing is super slow." Now it seems just perfect. That whole thing with the box in the room and the experiment coming out. It's like I didn't find it slow at all. I just found it really almost perfectly paced, for the tension and the suspense. It's great, because now I feel like I know how to watch this new
okay
series.
couple quick things before we go to the chat. Do you think the New York milieu, whatever, is that going to come back at all in this finale?
Will we find out who the billionaire is? Does it matter at this point? I don't know.
What do you think? Would you be disappointed if you don't?
No, because I think I don't think I would be disappointed, because I would just chalk it up to it was a kid in school who got this job and he doesn't really know anything, and the rumor was it's some billionaire. He doesn't know. It could have not been a billionaire. But why was it there in the first place? Maybe it's just part of the Blue Rose investigation. Maybe it's Cole somehow put it there to study the vortex or whatever.
Maybe, if we're going on alternate timelines and that type of thing. So, all right, let's go to the chat. Michael Tuffin says billionaire is Mr. C. Maybe. All right, let's go back here.
It could be.
Let's see. Bellajar Girl says, anyone else making cherry pie next week? I think the next episode is just going to be the cherry pie. Auburn Rhea says, I miss Lara Flynn Boyle.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have Donna.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, we did get a picture of her and Cheryl Lee in the back of the Palmer house. You saw it. It was right there in the background.
And James's song, evoked her with the 2 background singers,
Right. George says that Showtime will be marathoning the return up to the finale starting at 4 a.m. Yeah, that's not happening in my case. I have the streaming. I can rewatch it.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, there's no way I'm going to watch it all in one day.
That would be cool to watch it as one giant movie, though.
Yeah. Jamie Michelle says, I'm going to be rewatching this as soon as it's over. Oh, by the way, I have great news in case you haven't heard. Showtime has confirmed they are not pulling the show from their streaming service.
Yeah, I saw that because it says ends 9/26 or whatever. That's probably where you got that. But they always do that. They put in wrong dates.
Right, but they came out and made an official statement saying that they are keeping it. Although now Fire Walk With Me says it's being pulled at the end of September.
I'm taking the movie off.
Who knows?
They've taken seasons 1 and 2 down too, haven't they?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I was looking for them and I didn't see them on there anymore. Fire Walk With Me is still there, but I didn't see seasons 1 and 2.
All right. Well, Hal, we got about 225 people in the chat now.
Nice.
That's fantastic. You guys, now's my turn before to pimp this out.
I'm gonna have a Cheetos when we go to the chat here.
All right, guys. You know what to do. This channel right now we're streaming on is just kind of an alternate channel we're streaming on. So make sure you go to the official YouTube channel, Obnoxious and Anonymous. Subscribe there. Not all the videos are up there though. I have a bunch of videos on there, but YouTube just being a pest. So that is the main YouTube channel that I will upload videos to. But every video, whether it's on YouTube or not, every video is eventually going to be at this site. So make sure you subscribe to this site, because I'd like to get the subscribership up there. Right now I'm about 420 subscribers on this channel, so I'd like to at least get that up to 500 by the end of the series. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to this as well as the main YouTube channel. There it is, Hal. My pimping of the websites.
Plug away, man. People want to find your vids, so no worries.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go. Oh, Cynic Kill says David Lynch told Charlotte Fentz, stay off Twitter.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, did he? I thought that was a joke.
No, he did.
Wow.
I guess what she did was she was in her trailer and took a picture and posted that on Twitter, and he like came over to her in person and told her to stay off Twitter. And he said, Sherilyn Fenn, stay off Twitter.
Every time you piss me off, Audrey, I cut another scene.
Yeah. I shorten your dance.
That was long enough.
Yeah, or I lengthen your dance. I make you dance longer.
Dance, monkey.
Yeah.
And the monkey goes, Judy. Joey Pedros says he is nervous as hell for next week. Listen, if there's one thing we can pretty much bet on, series ends with Julie Cruz singing at the Roadhouse, right?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
So are you going to do a pre-show live, like lead up to?
I'm thinking about it.
Do it.
I'm thinking about it.
It'd be fun. We'll just turn that whole day into Twin Peaks Day, man.
Well, yeah, it's fun for you guys because you guys just pop in and out, and I'm the one holding down the fort for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. Oh my God.
I know, it's rough. That's such a drag that you have to go through that, man.
Oh my God. When the live streaming goes back on the main channel, I will be thrilled to pieces because it will cut out so much time.
I will be thrilled for you because I know what you're going through. Yeah,
that'll be amazing. The only bad thing about YouTube at the moment is that anything dealing with Twin Peaks or things like that, instant demonetization. So you can't even like make a penny on any of these videos. You have Twin Peaks in the title. Nope, gone. I've taken out all the tag words, any links to anywhere other sites. Nope, instant demonetization. So YouTube just hates Twin Peaks apparently.
Why did they do that? Because it's a copyright violation?
No.
On the brand name or something?
No. They've been doing this thing for the last couple of weeks. It's called, people on YouTube call it the adpocalypse, where no rhyme, no reason, the YouTube bots, kind of like those little spider things in Minority Report, go into everybody's YouTube channels and just decide haphazardly that can be monetized, that can't be monetized.
So they're kind of discouraging the smaller channels or whatever.
Right. Of course, bigger channels, when they're doing their Game of Thrones wrap-ups and stuff like that, I know they're not getting tagged. But like, it's weird. Like some of the Twin Peaks thought of the day videos are fine. Other ones, instantly you get this big thing. This is not advertiser friendly. And it's like, what are you talking about? So, but there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
So, but since YouTube is so squirrely,
they've put some sort of algorithm out there, and it's not an actual human making these decisions. It's just some sort of weird formula.
It never is. So I try to put the videos up on YouTube, but they're so squirrely and so like you can't really deal with them. So I just I set up the VidMe account so that all the videos will go up there if I'm not able to get them on YouTube proper. So like I said, the best way is to subscribe to the main Obnoxious Anonymous YouTube channel and also the VidMe, because you will get everything then. And then when my live stream comes back on the main channel, we're going to rock and roll, because we're going to do lots of live streaming there. And then the videos, if they're not allowed on YouTube, I'll just import them over to the VidMe account and we'll be fine. So I know it's very convoluted, but we're talking Twin Peaks here. So convoluted is the name.
You're going to continue after the series ends with Twin Peaks discussion.
Right. I got a message from someone today. I think it was Jamie Michelle that said, "Oh, it's been so great this summer talking Twin Peaks with you guys. It's going to be sad when the show is over." And I'm like, why are you so sad that the conversations are not ending?
Yeah, we've been talking about seasons 1 and 2 in the movie for 25 years.
Right. I mean, I've been doing these videos since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stopping just because the series ends.
Right.
Yeah, I probably won't be doing 4 of them a week like I've been doing, but the conversation continues on.
Right. And there'll be news coming out. We've got Mark Frost's book. We've got the eventual Blu-ray, and and David Lynch's career will continue. And
we have the Criterion Fire Walk With Me coming out.
Yeah.
The Criterion David Lynch The Art Life, or shall I call it Lynch 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have all that coming. Trust me, we're not going anywhere. So stay subscribed, please.
Have you been reading the Blue Rose magazine? Are you into that?
I don't have it. I don't have a subscription yet.
You should get one, man.
I know.
Because that's another forum for discussion and ideas and stuff like that. It's all part of the flow.
Yeah, and actually, believe it or not, I don't know if I told you this or not, I have been invited to write for them.
Great.
But I have to pitch a story to them of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I have no ideas, because I kind of want to wait for the series to be over with for me to have any concrete thoughts, because who knows what they're going to show us in the last episode.
Do a story about the tulpas, because you were like, oh, what is that concept? Research it and write an article about it.
Other people are doing that kind of stuff. I want to do more important things, like who really called Laura Palmer on the night she died. That's my specialty. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I like that.
I'm actually going to make a video about that. I just haven't had any time. It's one of the problems working as much as I do. Mm-hmm. Okay, Philip Head says, how much do you guys expect to be resolved next week? I'm going to say 80%.
Yeah, I think it'll be very, very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's probably this episode already was. I mean,
yeah.
So, it's climaxing.
Do you think Gordon Cole talking about, the dreamer dreams the dream and lives inside the dream and all that kind of thing, do you think that's going to be Audrey? I don't think that this whole thing has been imagined.
No.
I think it's very much like Lost. Like, whatever happened. And there'll be a few other things on the side, that are surreal.
Yeah.
Things.
Will we find out who is the dreamer? Will we find out who the little girl is with the frog locust? Will we find out who Judy is?
I don't know about the frog moth girl, but we may get to we may get some things where we can kind of figure out who it is, but they might not tell us. That might be revealed in Mark Frost's book. Will we find out how Philip Jeffries actually, the mechanics of him turning into a teapot, or is that just the evolution of Philip Jeffries? Listen, I gotta tell you, I've been rewatching today. I've been rewatching that Philip Jeffries scene from Fire Walk With Me, not the Missing Pieces one, but the one in the official movie. Mm-hmm. I've always liked the scene. It's a very, we have said in the past that it's a truncated scene. I do like the extended version of the Above the Convenience Store better, but I do like what we get. But I'm telling you, rewatching that scene, knowing this new series, there is nobody anymore that can watch that sequence in Fire Walk With Me and just, at the time you were like, what is this scene doing in there? It's got nothing to do with the movie. At the time it was what the hell? Yeah. And I understand that. But that was when Fire Walk With Me was the end of the Twin Peaks saga. Now that we have this other 18-hour movie or so, okay, well, now we have more to draw from. And so the Philip Jeffries thing doesn't kind of stand out to me as out of nowhere, because now we're dealing with Philip Jeffries. Yeah. Right? So now I think it's awesome. Like we talked about, Fire Walk With Me is no longer the finale. It's a bridge between seasons 1 and 2 and seasons 3. And I never disliked the scene, but now if you rewatch that scene, knowing what you've seen in the new series, again, it's just wonderful, because I don't know. You know what? I never really, I guess sometimes I'm just naive and don't think about things, but when Philip Jeffries was saying, who do you think that this is there? I always thought it was just a cool line, point at Cooper, kind of signifying that Cooper is the one that's going to be solving Laura's murder and that type of thing. But, now thinking about in the context of the fact that Philip Jeffries is moving back and forward in time, which in the movie you don't really kind of get. I always had that sense. That's why when it paid off, I'm like, that's beautiful, because I always had that sense, because Fire Walk With Me is both a prequel and a sequel. Now, I agree. Andy Blackburn stuff, I always thought when he said that line, who do you think that is there? I'm going, maybe he somehow knows that's the doppelganger, or right. But because Fire Walk With Me doesn't directly deal with the doppelganger
Right,
at all, except for that scene we get in the missing pieces. My brain wasn't there. I was thinking prequel when I was watching it as a 16-year-old in the movie theater. You know, I was thinking prequel, even though the Annie stuff in there, I didn't catch
that on first viewing, but pondering it over the years, I often thought that did refer to
it makes
Jeffrey
sense.
Seven knowledge. Yeah,
it totally makes sense. What I'm saying though is watching this new series and going back and watching that scene, it really now makes the hair stand on your arms, like chilling.
Yeah, it's so great.
Right?
So great the way they tied it together.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what we didn't talk about? The one-armed man gave Coop the Owl Cave ring.
That's right.
What's he going to do with that?
He's got to slip it on. He's got to slip it on the bad Cooper and kick his ass right back to the Black Lodge.
You're right. Maybe Freddy will punch him with the fist, and then Cooper will slip the ring on, and that'll be the end of Doppel.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. And that's his destiny.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Freddy's destiny.
So I'm gonna say it right now. We'll do a pre-show before the final finale. I don't know how long it's gonna be because I want to save my voice for the instant reaction as well.
Yeah, and you want to have time to prep for the show itself, you know?
Right? So we'll probably end up doing 3.5 hours like we did before. But here's the thing: you guys have been so wonderful in the chat and supporting me, and going to different YouTube channels to watch these streams and signing up for VidMe and all that. Listen, I'm going to say this: Hal, obviously, you and the other people, Mandy and Eric and everybody else,
Chaz.
Yeah, all of them. You guys are totally welcome to come on the podcast. But if you guys send me an email to obnoxiousandanonymous@hotmail.com, I'll give you guys the link too, and we'll just make this a giant party.
That'd be badass.
So I don't know how many people I can get on here, but I will send you links, and you don't have to come on for the whole thing. Just pop on for 5-10 minutes and wish the show good luck for the ending. I think that would be amazing.
Remember when Lynch did the tagline in the TV Guide ad for when they went to Saturday nights? It's like, have a party. Right.
That's
what we'll do.
Exactly. We are definitely going to have a party. So any of you guys out there in the chat or watching this video and you're not in the chat, you watch this after the fact, send me an email this week. And when we go live, I will send you the link and you can pop on and stay as long as you want. And, come shoot the shit with us about Twin Peaks.
I'm in.
Yeah. Well, I have to be in because I'm there the whole time.
You're the host. Yeah, you're kind of important.
Yeah. All right, here. Got a lot of people here talking. Let's see. Sorry, guys. There's just so many people in the chat right now. I'm trying to get to the questions here. It's not a bad problem to say,
So are we going to see 2 Roadhouse performances next week?
And I hope we don't get any end credits for the in between. I want one consecutive big episode.
Well, I hope it's a cool image. Like, remember at the end of season 2, that reflection of Laura in the cup of coffee? I hope it's some cool variant last scene.
Right. So Jamie Michelle says, yes, it was me. I'm not sad. I'm just sad to see Twin Peaks coming to and close. The discussion will always continue. I agree. Rosenfield 10 says, the Dougie Gold seed will go into the Cooper Tulpa. Who does the Diane ball go into? I don't know.
Yeah, what do you do with those seeds if nobody uses them for another purpose? What do the seeds just stay in the lodge?
I don't know. Keith Houston says the Laura that was murdered was probably the manufactured one, and the real Laura will escape the Black Lodge and return to the real world. That's kind of like what we've been thinking.
Yep.
Let's see here. Steve Owen says, well, maybe it's different. Maybe Cooper will return to Janie E and Sonny Jim, and his Tulpa will be the one in the FBI. I doubt it, but maybe.
No.
Maybe.
I think Cooper's an FBI agent first and foremost.
Right. Probably. Charles says, what is the theory why the ring was put in Major Briggs' stomach?
These are all these unanswered questions.
Yeah.
Will they get to them, or will we just speculate?
And what was up with that groundskeeper in part 1? You know, he seemed like he was up to something, and we never come back to him. So,
what guy?
I don't know, the kind of the groundskeeper of that apartment building where they found Ruth Ports,
where he was paranoid. He's like, "Am I free to go?" Yeah, what was he up to?
Yeah. Let's see here. What do you think the percentage of the finale being in black and white?
Ooh,
I'm gonna say 20%.
So you don't think we'll get a 4th black and white Rancho Rosa logo at the beginning?
Maybe, but I don't think we're gonna get an episode 8 as one of the finales.
I don't think they don't have time for that.
Yeah,
I do wish they would explore who the frog moth girl was. Or frog locust, or whatever everybody's calling it.
Let's see here. Belljar Girl says, I was not a huge Audrey fan before, but tonight she won me over. Don Gash says, who knew Bowie's 3-minute scene in Fire Walk With Me would spawn an 18-hour sequel?
What are the numbers? Oh, were those coordinates that Philip Jeffries was spewing out last week?
Yeah, that was the coordinates from Ruth's arm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Grouch Douglas says, do you think Chet Desmond is Judy? No. Philip Jeffries says that
I don't think Garland Briggs is Judy either.
That's the worst theory I've ever heard. I've seen people like legitimate film
because
writers.
He says Judy Garland when he's all out of his mind.
No,
which is that's like saying Agent Cooper's Gary Cooper because Jacoby said he was.
No, I'm sorry. Like if they went that way, I understand it's convenient, it's easy, blah 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 blah. But I don't believe it. That
would be silly.
And the vlog lady agrees with us. She believes same as us that the Judy is Nido.
Yeah,
that's where I'm sticking my theory. Let's see.
And some people are saying that's not the correct pronunciation of Nido. It should be Naido.
Okay, whatever it is. I believe she's Judy.
Yeah.
Steve Owens says, it seems like the doppelganger may have killed or tried to kill all of Coop's female associates.
Oh, another point I wanted to tell you, another beautiful touch was, and I just remembered it now. Remember when they're in the casino and he's saying goodbye to Janie E and Sonny Jim?
Right.
The last shot as the camera pulls away in the foreground, it's a slot machine and an Egyptian scarab beetle is on the screen. And that's a symbol of rebirth. Oh, okay. Yeah, watch that again. That's beautiful.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. Nick says he's going to miss Dougie eating cake. Julia is excited about a pre-show. It seems like everyone's excited about a pre-show. You guys better not let me down. Show up and please come on and visit and say hi to everybody, because I don't want to just be talking about myself. That drives me insane.
I'll be here for sure, Cameron. So you won't be by yourself, but hopefully we're joined by a whole ton of people.
I know, and you know what? I'm going to send out the invites to a lot of the people from before, because and not just the people in the chat, but you know, I've had celebrities and stuff contact me before and say, hey, you know, if you ever want us on, let us know. And so I'm going to let them know we can advance. Like, get over here, get on the show.
Oh man, you should have an all celebrity one. Get Sabrina Sutherland, and that'd be great.
I know but you know, they can't really say anything, you know, so
that's true. You can't. Yeah. Pre-show, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Maybe
the week after or something. Yeah. After
the after show.
Yeah. Right.
That'd be great.
Post show.
Senate Kill 1 comes in with just negativity.
What?
Prediction for the finale: low ratings.
Game of Thrones fan, obviously.
Oh my god! Well, no, I think the MTV VMAs beat MTV or Twin Peaks tonight. So,
well, there's no accounting for, You know, it's and that, I know that sounds snobby, but it's just like I don't know. This is high art.
Totally.
Who cares about the ratings? I don't give a damn about the ratings. I mean, I know in a commerce way people do, but they have to. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not a reflection on this show at all.
I wish Showtime would drop like the Blu-ray pre-order, or something, just so that they could see just how much people love this show. George says, I'm with Cameron's prediction. Laura Palmer will be alive at the end.
Yeah,
I am maintaining that. I firmly believe Laura Palmer will be alive at the end of this series.
You called that a long time ago, and I'm
from part one.
Starting to seem that way.
Actually, before part one. If you go back and watch like the videos leading up to part one, I'm already saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a happy ending.
Yeah. After all, yeah, it's like, we've had so much Good Friday in this series. We need Easter Sunday now.
Exactly.
Senate Kill says Harry will be the most important cameo in this news. Yeah, I don't know. Michael Onken, he could do the Skype call like Doc Hayward.
Yeah, nice surprise. Although I thought Bowie would have been a nice surprise. That's too bad. But Michael Onken is still among us.
David Bowie was in it. He was in it.
He was in it. It would have just been nice to see some new.
We did see new. It was an alternate take.
Well, an alternate voice.
Yeah,
dubbed voice.
Well, that too, but it was still an alternate take too. Realismo Rachel says season 4 will be the big reveal of the season finale. I would be screaming through the streets if it said season 4's,
Yeah, instead of an in memory of at the very end, it said season 4 coming soon.
Or like James Bond at the end, it would say Agent Cooper will return in 2018.
Right.
Woo! That'd be amazing.
The Blue Rose cases will continue.
Yeah. Let's see here.
The Woodsman will be back.
The Woodsman will be back. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. JB says, do you think the Black Lodge will be obliterated? No.
No, the Black Lodge is always going to be there. It's all part of it. Like Albert said, the absurd forces of the mysteries of existence.
What role do you think Andy's going to play?
Oh, that's right. Andy's got all that knowledge. I think he's going to fill in Coop, maybe with some details of where the vortex is. Maybe they need to go back to Jack Rabbit's palace.
Right.
Because Coop's got to get back in with the fireman at some point.
Right. Yeah, you would think. Unless the scene with the fireman is when Cooper's in the hospital. Right? When he's in his little coma. Where he says, you are far away. That's possible.
Possibly. Yeah.
I mean, I could make a case for that.
Yeah. That would make sense too. I mean,
the Giant had no problem showing up wherever Cooper needed him to be, So he even shows up in the Roadhouse and gives him
What
back
do you
the
mean
ring.
by it's in our house though?
I thought it was Mother. Like Mother was invading or something.
Could be, yeah.
Julia says we still haven't seen the part of Andy and Lucy that was shown by the fireman. Yeah. I think that it may be something to come, or that could have been a flashback dealing with if Wally Brando wasn't really their son.
Will Wally ride back into town for the finale? Show up at the Roadhouse.
Hey, listen, we were supposed to have, Joey Paulson's supposed to be in this show. So everyone thought there was going to be more Bookhouse Boy stuff.
Maybe Wally will show up and get James Hurley back on a bike. Give him his courage back.
Oh my God. If it ends with James Hurley and Wally just riding back to San
Riding
Francisco,
off into the sunset.
it'd be awesome. To Born to Be Wild.
That would rock.
That would be amazing. Some people want to see Laura reincarnated into Candy. JB says, could our house be the Roadhouse? Oh, you mean the Bang Bang Bar? Yeah, no, the Roadhouse.
Well, that's true because the Giants appeared in the Roadhouse.
Nicholas says, I think Becky's function will be to just bring Bobby and Shelley back together. Yeah, what are we gonna do with Red? I mean, I think we have to deal with him. I mean, he's spun a coin in the air.
Yeah, he has magic. He does magic tricks. That's got to have some reason to have shown that scene.
Right. Otto says, have we seen the shaky stairs yet from the trailer? I don't think we have. You know, the stair.
Oh, with the staircase shaking, yeah.
Right.
I mean, we've seen the staircase, but it hasn't.
Nor have we seen Cooper walking down the hallway with the one-armed man.
Right.
We haven't seen that either. I
love this show.
Wilton says, could Laura be the fireman's tulpa, a big golden orb that was sent to Earth? I don't know. George says Red will come back to die.
That makes sense, though, with the Laura being the fireman's tulpa, because he manifested it out of his head.
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that would be pretty wild.
But who's Senorita Dido? How does she factor in?
I don't know. The Wanderer's soul that just,
right.
She's like the audience or something.
Right, another denizen of the lodge that's in wide-eyed wonder.
Nick seems convinced that he wants to see Gordon Cole and Laura Palmer ballroom dancing in the Black Lodge. You've been reading Hannibal? That's the that's the ending of that book with them in Argentina. Spoilers. Scooby D says there's only 2 hours left, and I'm now realizing we have a lot of unanswered questions. I hope they fit everything in, or Lynch could just give us a season 4. We're heading towards lost territory now, Hal, where people are going, we only have a couple episodes left. How are they going to solve it all?
Yeah, I hope they don't turn on it at the end, because it gives an ambiguous, somewhat unsatisfying ending like Lost did.
Right. Bell Jar Girl says, I think there may be a movie, folks. Just my opinion. Just get that thought out of your head. There will never, ever be another theatrical film of Twin Peaks. It's going to be all cable, if not straight to Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly. Because every movie has to be under the Disney. Well, he did do the straight story for Disney, so there is a Lynch connection with Disney. But
what do you mean it has to be under the Disney?
Well, it's like Disney makes every movie now. Why is there a Transformers 5? Because everybody has to have a franchise, because Disney, everything needs to be a multi-universe movie.
I think it goes further than that. I think that another Twin Peaks movie would make Lynch so nervous, and it would bring back Fire Walk with Me in his mind. Whereas on cable, he doesn't have to adhere to a length of time.
Yeah, no, he's way better suited for this.
I mean, if he wants to make a 5-hour movie, he can, right. And they'll cut it up into 2-hour pieces or whatever. I mean, but he can't do that for the theater experience. So,
well, he's already written off that. I mean, he said, the art house is dead. And that interviewer guy's like, yeah, it's in pretty bad shape. No, it's dead. He's been pretty matter of fact that there's nothing for him there in the theatrical sense.
Okay, what about this theory people are shouting around here saying that Wally Brando is a tulpa? Like, is everyone going to be a tulpa?
Everyone's a tulpa. It will end like that Let's Rock musical where they all turn into the seeds at the end.
Hey, he was onto something.
Yeah, he predicted the ending.
George says, I want to see Wally Brando do slam poetry at the Roadhouse. Relaine Martin says Julie Cruz needs to play next week. That would be the best. Well, you're going to get your wish.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
No, seriously, it's going to happen, because right. she's already confirmed she recorded for the soundtrack and for the scene.
What makes sense other than that? Who would the last performer in the series be at the Roadhouse? It has to be her. Will
it be awesome though? Will she dissolve and the giant shows up and says it is happening again, and then all of a sudden it says season 4 2018?
I just hope it doesn't say season 4 in 25 years.
Oh God. Yeah. Steve Owen says Little Nicky is a tulpa.
Everybody's a tulpa.
Steve Owens says there's a tulpa of a pine weasel. Oh, that's great. Nicholas Walsh says, are there any other performers on the cast list other than Julie Cruz left? No.
Maybe the guy, the MC with the pine cone, is a tulpa of Little Jimmy Scott.
Bella Jar Girl says, I went to the David Lynch Foundation concert for Julie Cruz and she didn't show up. I'll tell you a funny story about Julie Cruz. She's always been very nice to me, but she never really wanted to come on and discuss like David Lynch and you know, Twin Peaks or anything like that. But she did say that when she has time, she would love to come on one of these videos and just discuss random entertainment news with me.
Cool.
And I thought, how brilliant would that be? My guest today to discuss whether Joss Whedon is going to be making Batgirl is Julie Cruz.
Yeah. Yeah, my guest today is Julie Cruz, and we're not going to mention Twin Peaks.
No, her tulpa is here today.
Yeah.
Realist Racial says Twitter page go for locations informed last year after the main shooting wrapped up that 2 seasons were filmed. Well, I'm assuming 2 seasons as a season of 9 episodes each. So
Right. I mean, when David Nevins, who has everything to gain by season 4, says there's been zero discussion about it, why would he say that?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they may make the announcement, but they may even do something different and say, listen, we're not going to play it on the channel. We'll just have it on the streaming service. You know?
I believe him when they say they haven't discussed it. I believe that David Lynch is waiting till the show airs, and then he'll see how he feels. It's kind of like Larry David with Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'll do it if I feel like doing it. Nobody's going to push me or force me, though. I'll do it if it feels right.
Alternative Nation says if they split this into 2 seasons, people would have gone nuts when the first part ended with no Coop waking up. No, I agree. I'm not saying this is 2 seasons. I'm saying that it's the equivalent of episodes on cable. It's the equivalent of 2 seasons.
Yeah. What if they would have ended it after season 8 and wait another year for the rest? Or after part 8.
I'm telling you that horse Winnie at the end of episode 8.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that was part 8 because I could have seen Lynch ending the whole series like that.
Yeah.
So
he would have gotten savage though by that. You know, if he did something that open-ended and that ambiguous, it would be.
So people are convinced that David Lynch said that he would gladly do another one if it goes over well.
That was according to Cheryl and Fenn. We haven't heard him say that. And yeah. David Nevins has specifically said there's been zero discussions about it, and that Lynch said we won't discuss it until the series is over, until all the episodes.
We're not going to talk about Twin Peaks. In fact,
we're not going to talk about season 4.
In fact, we're going to leave season 4 out of it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Pina says the Twin Peaks will be wrapped up in the first 10 minutes of the next episode, and the rest is 2 hours of road adventures with Wally Brando. Oh, so you want the Evelyn story? Fantastic. Fantastic.
I still want to know what happened with James in the motorcycle crash. I still think he killed Donna.
I don't think he killed Donna. I think Donna died.
Well, yeah, but she might have died in a motorcycle crash with him driving, which would be why he's.
But see, him singing the "Just You, Just Me," or just you, just right, whatever it is.
Just you and I.
Just you and I. Thank you. If Donna's dead and we know Maddie died, then that's his tribute song to both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Stephen Clark says maybe Judy is the code word for season 4. Yeah, maybe at the end of this, we'll just get a monkey just stare at us and be like, Judy, season 4.
Or he'll just whisper. That would be great as the last shot, the credits roll, and then you get the monkey going, season 4.
Agent Cooper will return.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, I'm sure someone has already created this, but someone's got to do an alarm clock with the woodsman going, this is the water and this is the well, like that. Yeah. And that would be amazing. Get up in the middle of the night and turn off that alarm.
Yeah. And they could do after the credits the cheesy like 50s sci-fi ending, the end ?
Cynic Hill says I think the last hour will be part 8 part 2. You might be onto something, but that's a lot to wrap up in 1 hour.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be great if hour one wraps up, the Twin Peaksy stuff, and then he gives us this black and white madness for the final hour.
Right. Belljar Girl says, I think part 8 and 16 were the best episodes so far. You guys are so funny because every week you guys are saying part 15 was the best. Part 14 was the best.
But they have been subsequently better and better as it goes on. I mean, they've all been really good, but the payoffs now are just so great that each episode is better than the last,
Yeah, but that scares me that the final episode is going to hit and people are going to be like,
There's always going to be those.
Oh, there's definitely going to be that. I can't wait. I can't wait to see those people in our chat. Like I knew it was going to end this way.
Fix your hearts or die. That's what I would say.
Ram Martin says part 8 gave me nightmares. And Alan says the whole thing will be 100% better on a rewatch after it's over. Well, we already know this because I'm sure like we all go back and rewatch these episodes. And as much as we like those episodes, when you go back and rewatch them after like 4 or 5 have gone by, yeah, they're even better.
I'm actually I remember Alice Lynch said on one of your shows, and I have the same pattern. I watch them twice and then I let it marinate. I don't go back and watch 3 or 4 times. I did watch episode 1 again last weekend, so that was the 3rd time for that one. But I like doing just 2. I like to watch it, and then midweek I watch it again, and then I wait for the next one, and then I'll do the full rewatch once the Blu-ray comes out because you see it in that high quality.
Right. No, I agree.
1080p rather than 1080i or whatever.
Let's see here. Juan says, "Me too, Hal. I watched the new parts twice."
Yeah.
Steve Owen says Candy will fall for Wally Brando.
Now you're just getting giddy.
And Stephen Clark says part 8 will be studied in film schools for many years to come. I'll never forget when I was in film school and they showed me, well, they started showing the class 2001 in pan and scan VHS. And I was like, what on earth? And I went back to my dorm room and said, if I'm going to have to watch this movie and write a paper on it, I'm just going to go back and watch the widescreen. I'm not going to watch the pan and scan VHS. What?
Two worst things in movie history are the concept of pan and scan and Ted Turner's colorization.
Yeah, there's, I think pan and scan contributed to a lot of people's ADHD.
Martin Scorsese said, if you're going to pan and scan my movies, I'll stop making movies. He was like, elated when the new formats came out that they didn't have to do that.
Right. Well, even David Lynch used to say he hated the home video format, but preferred Laserdisc because it allowed you to see it in widescreen.
Yeah.
So,
remember when HBO refused to show widescreen because they thought people would tune out seeing the black bars and stuff?
Oh my God. I once ran a video store and the manager asked me to order 17 copies of Armageddon. And so when I called the distributor, they said, do you want pan scan or widescreen? I said, of course, widescreen.
Yes.
And the manager got all pissed. He's like, no one's going to rent here.
Right. They bring it back and think it's defective.
And you want to know the truth? Very few of those rented. He got so pissed that he lost all that money on Armageddon. They all said, we're going to Blockbuster. They don't have that black bar stuff.
Oh, that drove me nuts, man.
Yeah.
When people would do that. I don't like those black bars. I'm going, yeah, so you're seeing 1/3 of the picture, or you're missing 1/3 of the picture.
Do you remember when like Walmart or Target or whatever would have like screens showing you the difference?
Yeah.
Oh my
I remember like some movies where it'd be like a 2-shot, 2-headshot, and then you'd see it on video and it's like the headshot and then the kid go, and then they shit in the
I think what finally pushed it over the level is movies like Jurassic Park and Forrest Gump and things like that were super popular, and then people bought the price to own VHS tapes and went, this isn't the movie I saw in the theater. Where's this? Yeah. Grouch says in the chat, I need at least one more stabbing from Ike the Spike.
Yeah, I did like Ike the Spike character.
They should send Ike into the red room and have him stab the tree.
One of my favorite, the funniest moment is when he mourns the loss of his ice pick. He's like, "Oh." After all that carnage, he still had a sensitive heart when it came to his implements of destruction.
Right, for inanimate objects.
Right.
Oh boy.
So many great moments in this series.
Do you think we'll find out more about Phyllis, or can we just assume that she was the Tulpa as well?
Yeah, would you be hurt if you didn't find any more about Phyllis?
I think there's enough to draw from that you can make assumptions.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Looking for a few more comments before we go, and then we'll wrap it up.
I want to know more about Ruth Davenport's neighbor with the little dog. What happened to her? I'm trying to shoehorn her in the last 2 hours.
I'm trying to think if I have any like nagging comments or things that I'm trying to think that I'm gonna be upset if they don't resolve. I'll tell you, I will be a little upset if they don't mention Wyndham Earle at all.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a big person in Cooper's life.
Definitely.
And a lot of people have been bringing up the bonsai stuff from part 1 in the New York segments. But the thing is, though, is that he wasn't a collector of bonsai trees. He sent a bonsai tree to Sheriff Truman to make him think it was from Josie as a way of putting to spy on him with the whatever.
Right. That wasn't Earl's signature thing, the bonsai tree. He adopted many personas and costumes and all that. That was his signature. He was a man of 1,000 faces or whatever,
Right.
Right. It wasn't the bonsai tree. That was just one of many things that he did to.
Johan says, what if they don't mention Annie? They already have.
Yeah.
They already have. And we're gonna hear about her next week. Mark my words.
Well, Kyle said.
Oh, Kaijo LP, thank you. Bug. He's like, Cameron, bug. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Sometimes, I just got my brain moving 1,000 miles an hour that I can't find the simplest words.
Bug.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The bug inside the bonsai tree, where Gordon Coles is like, bonsai.
Oh, right.
Okay. Julius says, what do you think the doppelganger meant when he said to Richard, you've been dreaming about her for 25 years?
What was that?
What do you think the doppelganger meant when he said to Richard, you've been dreaming about her for 25 years?
When did he say that?
I don't even remember him saying that.
I don't remember that line. I don't either.
Yeah, that kind of... unless I went into a psychogenic fugue during that scene and don't remember that.
The only time he said 25 years is when he said you're 25 years. I'm 25 years your senior.
Right. George says Wyndham made me empathetic for Leo. I do think it's weird. It's like, is Shelley has to be wearing Bobby's wedding ring around her neck, right? That can't be Leo's wedding ring.
Would have been nice to have a mention of what happened to Leo with the spiders.
Or just like, Leo disappeared in the woods and never came back.
Would it be really cool as if they just did a quick insert shot of Leo still there with the spiders and then they just cut away from it? He's still there 25 years later.
Right. Yeah, people are sad that there's no Chris Isaac. I agree. I think it would be nice to, at least if we don't see Chet Desmond, it would be nice to kind of get something to infer like what happened to him. I assumed earlier in the season that he just got blasted to the Black Lodge like Dougie did, but he did have the ring, right? So he could have.
Yeah, Wyndham Earle.
Joey says, yeah, I would like to get a mention of Sam Stanley as well. They're not going to do that. They left him in the dust back in the original pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of give Sam Stanley the glad hand, give him the backhand.
It's funny. Funny. Yeah, I wonder what song Julie Cruz is going to sing at the end. Do you think it's going to be a new song, or do you think it's going to be a reprise of something? It's definitely not going to be Rockin' Back Inside Your Heart, I'll tell you that.
No.
It might be Into the Night. That'd be amazing.
Into the Night would be great. Nightingale is a good one.
Let's see.
I'll bet it's falling though.
November 17th, May 16th says, I thought the guy that punched the other dude during Audrey's dance was Bobby from the back. No, actually, that was Scott Cameron, Lynch's assistant director, having a scene.
Hey, maybe Julie Cruz will sing Sharp Dressed Man.
Oh, God. Bell Jar Girl says Julie Cruz will probably be singing Falling or Questions in a World of Blue. It's going to be Falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Rosenfield 10. That might be, that's the underdog here. The World Spins. Yeah, I could see that happening too.
Maybe she'll do
a medley,
a mini concert with two or three of them.
It'll be a 20-minute finale.
Yeah, because they did that in that one episode, right, where it's happening again. She kind of medleyed and did a couple.
God, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
it's one of the greatest episodes
because it changes moods, you know.
Right. Grouch Douglas says Wyndham making Leo Johnson write that letter was hilarious. No, not Shelley.
I got to go back and rewatch some of those, man. I haven't seen season 2 in a while.
I love
season 2. I always watch like the season 2 episode 1 and season 2 final episode, but I don't watch a lot of them in between, but I got to go back and do that.
Right.
I might have to do that before the Blu-ray comes out. Just start at the beginning and go through a Fire Walk with Me, and then into season 3.
Okay. Great. Nicholas needs to get this thought out of the head. What do you think about a showdown between good Coop and bad Coop? We're not going to get a full-on brawl. It's not going to be Lord of the Rings, although I would love it if like the woodsman just comes flying into Snoqualmie and there's just like a big, massive fight on the streets and stuff like that. It's not going to happen.
Like I do think it'll be something like Freddy punches him out with the fist and then Coop slips the ring on.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as anticlimactic as the ending of season 2. But I do think it's not going to be like a big fist fight or something like that.
No, it won't be like Law at the end of Lost.
No. Where it turns out they, what is Twin Peaks? What is this place? Well, this is the place you all made together.
Yeah. We're all one big tulpa.
Oh, Twin Peaker. He's like, North Bend, not Snoqualmie. Look, I know the Double R Diners in North Bend, but it's all so close together. Relax.
Hey, maybe maybe Northern Exposure was the tulpa of Twin Peaks.
I think that was what was that? M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
What was that?
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
No, but what was the show? Wayward Pines. That's definitely
right. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Panacia says, will we get that scene from one of the Matrix sequels with good Coop and an army of bad Coop tulpas? Dude, that is, you're trying to get into my heart right there. You're going to rock back inside my heart. If David Lynch, just seeing David Lynch directing a scene of Cooper taking on 100 bad Coops. Brilliant. Will
we see Bob in the last 2 episodes?
We very well may.
Mm-hmm.
We very well may. Juan says, we've all been Twin Peaks tulpas for the last 25 years.
Yeah. We're all tulpas from David Lynch's mind.
No, Cinekill says, no, the tulpa of Twin Peaks was Erie, Indiana. What do you think about this silly theory going around that the doppelganger Cooper is the real Cooper? After tonight, that's
man.
Nah, David Lynch does not work in like grays like that. You're good or bad in most of his work. So,
well, the One Arm Man sort of reinforced that tonight too.
Right.
It's like the other one's still out.
Right. All right, guys, we're gonna be wrapping it up. So maybe just fire out a couple quick last things, and then we're out of here. I gotta let Hal get to bed, and then I gotta spend the long journey of downloading and uploading videos.
Yeah, you got the work to do, man. I'm on vacation this week, so I feel for you.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here, I'm just having my Cheetos, man. I'm cool.
It's a shame that Chantel died with no Cheetos and on her period.
Yeah, she ran out of Cheetos. Yeah. Well, it wasn't confirmed she was on her period.
Well,
she's like, what if I am?
Yeah.
Ray's like, what? Hutch.
Juan Carlos says to me, when do I watch Game of Thrones? You want to know the answer? I saw the first episode of this season, and I haven't watched any more this season. Not because I don't want to. It's just this is taking up my time.
I actually have 5 episodes from the prior season left to watch. I kind of stopped mid-season for some reason. I just wasn't into it, or something was going on. So I still have to catch up from last season and then this season. But I'm waiting till after Twin Peaks is over to do that.
Everyone's saying R.I.P. Chantel. They're very sad.
I did like the Hutch and Chantel scenes. I looked forward to those.
They were great. Scooby Doo says this Twin Peaks initial reaction video is brought to us by Hal's Cheetos. Gotta like.
I can't do it, man. Can't do it until that guy's on again. If we see him again, I'll be doing it.
He's got to come back. He has to come back because they showed him in Andy's vision.
That's right.
So he's got to come back.
Yeah, he plays an important part. Well, and we kind of have to know what the cryptic message he sent out means, you know?
Grouch is screaming at us, Chip ain't got no phone. Why not?
I don't get it.
Yeah. I honestly, right now, after today, I don't. Who is Chip?
Who's Chip? Is he the guy in the FBI guy? Chip?
I don't know. I'm sure someone.
The bad boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget.
Steve Owen says corn products are evil.
That's right. It's Garmin Bosia flavored Cheetos.
Garmin Bosia. Oh my goodness. That would be amazing. Amazing.
It'll be in the Showtime store tomorrow.
All right, Hal. Stephen Clark says Chip was the apartment manager from episode 1. Come on, I can't remember every person's name in the show. There's a million names and a million times or numbers in this series. So forgive us for not knowing something.
Yeah.
After watching part 16, I can't remember.
We have 25 years after the next week to get into all that ephemera and remembering all that stuff. Like we've dissected seasons 1 and 2 for all those years. We got plenty of time to get all that in our heads.
Right. Okay, well, everyone's wanting a showdown in Twin Peaks, and Jen Key 831 says, so the Audrey coma theory is confirmed. No, it is not confirmed.
No, I think she's in the nut house.
Yeah. Bella Jar Girl says, Cameron, what is happening with Audrey in your opinion? She's in a mental institution.
Yeah, all that the white walls and stuff.
Right. Who knows, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It looked like some sort of institution, interior of an institution.
Joey says next week's episode will be Lynchian Avengers Assemble. I agree. Let's do it. He's got a guy with a superhero glove. We do.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like Bad Coop says to Good Coop, I've got an army of woodsmen. And Good Coop says, I got Freddy with the glove.
Yeah. Freddy smash. Freddy smash.
Isn't that kind of funny though? That it's another Freddy with a glove like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Everyone's like, the number sequence having to do with Diane going to the lodge. No, the number sequence is the coordinates to the sheriff's station for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Bella Jar Girl says Audrey ended up in an institution because she was raped by Bad Coop and gave birth to twins. She did not give birth to twins. Richard is her son, and Linda will end up most likely being the product of Annie and the Good Cooper when they had their little session before Miss Twin Peaks. So that's where I think it is. And that it explains why Norma has to spend more time at home, because Linda is in a chair. And that's why she wants to just deal with the one diner.
It's a good theory.
I think it's going to come true.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that they're creating the Dougie new Tulpa to go back home to Janie and Sonny Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where that leaves Cooper. I mean, because I think that Cooper might want to go back to Janie and Sonny Jim. I mean, maybe they'll leave that with a question. Like, which one went back to Janie and Sonny Jim? Are we going to be left with that question of, like, was it the Tulpa? Was it the real Dale? They might leave us with that question.
And where's the real Diane?
Yeah. Maybe.
Wonder if Coop will be reunited with the real Diane somehow.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be a nice scene.
Yeah. Grouch says the real Diane is at the convenience store. Probably hidden away in one of those rooms. Alan St. Laurent is typing in all caps saying, did anybody see the credit for the Russian guy that killed Hutch and Chantel? No, I haven't. Go back and look at the end credits. I'm sure you can find them.
Yeah, what was his name? Wonder if it was just Russian guy.
So now, we're getting a lot of the same questions here. Cynic Kill says, are all the Roadhouse scenarios in Audrey's timeline? No, they're not, because James and Freddie were arrested at the Roadhouse and sent to the holding cell. So
True.
That cannot be in Audrey's imagination. Let's see. Render says,
I do want to see how how all those random Roadhouse scenes tie in, all those scenes in the booth.
Right. Render says, Cameron, what do you think about Cooper creating a tulpa as a fall guy and decoy for Mr. C? Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows? We only have 2 hours. Can't make it that even more convoluted.
No, I do think he's going to make a tulpa for Janie E and Sonny Jim, and then Coop's going to still be the FBI agent.
Lex Paliarma says, has anyone mentioned the Al Cave tattoo in Audrey's arm? Does she have one? I didn't see it.
I always thought they would explore more about in Mark Frost's book how Carl Rod and Margaret Lanterman were all abducted when they were kids and stuff.
Right.
I thought they'd address that a little bit more.
No, we're not going to get anything like that, because even Mark Frost on Twitter's confirmed that Carl Rod was the original Bookhouse boy, and if they were going to go into that at all, he wouldn't say that on Twitter.
Right. But see, I always thought they'd tie it in, because in Fire Walk with Me, he does that scene where he goes, I've been places. I always thought that referred to, or that's what Mark Frost was referring to in this book.
George says, if the Roadhouse isn't real, then James has never been cool. Bite your tongue. Lex Pellermis says, yes, when she's dancing, you can see a tattoo on her left arm that looks like the symbol from the Owl Cave. We all see what we want to see.
Could be there. I'll look for that on the rewatch.
It could be, but that... I mean, you think the doppelganger branded her with like the mother tattoo or something before?
If that's there, then like Ricky Ricardo says, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah. Twin Peaker wants to know, did Cooper ever retrieve that ring from under the pillow? I have no idea. I only saw this episode once, guys, and I was screaming through most of it. So, and
it was 30 minutes ago when we started this video.
Yeah. George Ray says, this chat is madness. Okay, Julie says, I saw a still from the episode and the tattoo is there. Well, okay, fine. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really looking for tattoos when she was dancing. I was trying to figure out the interpretive dance.
I didn't believe Sarah Palmer's face was in the Jumping Man until you see the still photos. So, you catch everything when you freeze frame.
Right. Totally. Let's see.
We haven't had that luxury yet to freeze frame.
Rosenfield 10 says, did you notice any electrical sound during Audrey's scene? There's electrical sounds through this whole dang series.
I love the way they kept saying electricity. Think it has anything to do with electricity? Well, no, coma has nothing to do with electricity. Well, in this case, it does. And then the Mitchell brothers said it. Belushi said it.
Render says the guy from the Entertainment Weekly theorized that the scene with the insurance guy who visits Lucy at the police department will play again at the end. Who knows? I mean, we had theories about him way early in this series.
Although when I rewatched episode 1, that scene is very cryptic.
It's like very cryptic.
Like, what does why was that placed there? It has to mean something.
No, I agree, but I mean, people have been theorizing that since the very beginning. People remember when people thought that was the original Dougie Jones?
Yeah. But the way he darted out of there and, Lucy's like, huh? I mean, they made it open-ended like that. It wasn't just
Lucy's a little scary sometimes,
Yeah.
I would be running for my life too.
But he's like, when he found out there was 2 Sheriff Trumans, he was like, the jig's up or something. I got to get out of here.
Okay, here it is. Ralph L. West says, Nido is dash backwards. Oh, Diane. Nailed it.
Interesting.
But I don't know why Diane's Asian, but who knows?
Wait, Nida. Yeah. Oh, Diane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's just kind of like the what was that? Janie E. Sunny? No. Was it Janie E. I can't remember what the three names were, but it spelled out what was it? No, it was Judy, Annie. It was what was it? It was Josie, Judy, and my Annie gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing. That was kind of brilliant. Adamo says, get ready for a Buenos Aires scene in a small black box to implode. Oh, Twin Peaker says, remember, Diane has an Asian style of dressing.
She does.
Very good. Thank you so much for that.
Why are the eyes sewn shut, though? What's that about?
I don't know. Tony Hines says, I hope we get more of Gordon Cole. We've gotten more of Gordon Cole in this series than I've ever seen in my life. You know.
Oh man, weren't David Lynch's reactions when Diane came in there was perfect. They kept cutting back to him, listening. You know, it was so great.
No, he kept waiting for her to make a move.
Yeah.
Jason says, does this mean oh Diane is like zero Diane or negative Diane? Very possible.
Non-existent.
I just can't believe that Evolution of the Arm came out of the sidewalk and started screaming, squeeze his hand, squeeze his hand. Like, what the hell?
Well, there you go. What the hell?
Yeah.
We need that supercut. We need the what the hell supercut.
Well, I want a poster. Twin Peaks, The Return. What the hell?
Maybe that'll be the selling point for the Blu-ray. What the hell? Twin Peaks season 3.
Senekill says David Lynch deserves a supporting actor recognition. I could get behind that, especially for that scene. That scene in part 4 when he's talking with Albert on the tarmac. That's a brilliant scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, and the scene with the hugging Diane was great too. And that same.
Oh my god, yeah, that is brilliant. So all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, guys. Guess we're gonna wrap up this podcast in plastic.
So next week, it's The Past Dictates the Future. This part 17.
Right.
And then part 18 is What is Your Name?
Well, to quote Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. I think this is gonna be a wild ride.
What if the last episode is the guy from Monty Python and the Holy Grail? What is your name? What is your favorite color? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Yeah, what is your name? I'm gonna be wrong, but I was leaning towards what is your name, and Cooper's saying Dougie Jones.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's I'm gonna be wrong, but it's what is your name, and the answer is gonna be Laura.
Laura Palmer.
I really do think that maybe Janie E's kid, if they do have a kid from that sex scene they had, that maybe they'll have Laura as a rebirth.
Wow, that would be wild.
Yeah.
So who's going to say the past dictates the future? What's your guess? Who's going to deliver that line?
I don't know.
The past dictates the future.
I don't
Sounds
know.
like one of the Blue Rose guys, probably. Maybe Cole will say it.
Yeah, it's gonna be Monica Bellucci.
in Gordon's dream.
Yeah.
another Monica Bellucci dream.
Yeah. Well, he said another, so that could happen.
He has a series of them.
Well, I wonder if Gordon Cole dies in this season and then he lives happily ever after in his dream of him and Monica Bellucci in Paris.
Don't put that out there. I don't want Gordon to die.
I don't want it either, but I'm just saying, like, he says the thing about, you dream the dream and then you live inside the dream and all that stuff.
So that'll be Gordon's exit. He'll live inside the Monica Bellucci dream.
He'll get sucked into a whirlpool and
and
Monica Bellucci be waiting for him on the other side.
He's sipping coffee with Monica Bellucci in Paris for eternity.
That is not a bad fate.
Not a bad way to go out for Gordon.
No, definitely not.
And he can hear it, and he can hear everything.
And it's a woman that is an appropriate age for him, as opposed to all the little chickadees that he like flirts with every. Yeah. I've seen articles saying like, "Can you believe the way he puts his arm around Tammy? It's so inappropriate for a boss to do that."
And it'll all be black and white, except as they walk into the sunset, you'll see her red shoes.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Oh boy. So, all right, guys. Well, there you have it. You have a 2.5 hour reaction video to part 16. No knock, no doorbell. One hell of an episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one hell of a finale.
I agree. So make sure to subscribe again to Obnoxious and Anonymous, the main YouTube channel and the VidMe channel. And we will see you soon. Thank you guys so much for watching.
And have some Cheetos in Chantel's memory. In memory of Chantel and Hutch.
Yeah. But let us know throughout the week, questions, comments, and we'll address them on future videos. Obviously, we're going to do the watch along this week and do a thought of the day. And then we will do the big pre-show next Sunday. And you guys are all invited, either come into the chat, or if you guys want to come on the video, just send me an email to obnoxioussandanonymous@hotmail.com, and I will send you the link, and you can hop on for as long as you guys want. And, it's going to be great. As in the words of David Lynch, let's have a party.
Indeed. Let's rock.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We will see you soon. Take it easy. And, God, I just can't believe this episode. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And there's only one more week of new Twin Peaks.
You're such a downer, Hal.
I know, man. I'm a little bummed about it. What can I say?
God, that was my Laura Palmer impersonation.
You're such a downer.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Later.